WTMJ Milwaukee.
At 6 o'clock, it's 22 degrees. Tonight, cloud coverage will decrease, but it will be cold with a low of 9. From the WTMJ Breaking News Center, I'm Sean Brinda. Although the Federal Reserve made its third interest rate cut of the year Wednesday, President Trump continues to criticize Fed Chairman Jerome Powell. During a roundtable meeting at the White House, the president says the quarter percentage point is not good enough.
He did a rather small number that could have been doubled, at least doubled. And that's the other thing. I think the rates for the United States are always the lowest in the world, because without us, there is no world.
Trump has stated his desire to eventually replace Powell. The benchmark interest rate is now between 3.5 to 3.6%. Kenosha police have released new dispatch audio and body camera footage from a fire on Thanksgiving that killed 3 children.
All I see is smoke. I live right next door.
Can you see flames?
No, it's just black. It's just black.
Okay.
I don't know. Can you send somebody?
Yep, I'm going to send somebody.
His kids is in the house.
Extreme heat and smoke conditions prevented crews from rescuing the children. All 3 children were siblings. They include 10-year-old Riley, 9-year-old Connor, and 7-year-old Elena Cannon. What caused the fire is still under investigation. Slenderman assailant Morgan Geyser is no longer in the Waukesha County Jail. The Sheriff's Department confirms she was moved to a different facility but did not disclose where. Her attorney Anthony Kahn has requested she be moved back to the Winnebago Mental Health Institute while awaiting her next hearing. Geyser was found in Illinois with her friend Chad Mecca last month after escaping her group home in Madison. The state has filed a petition to revoke Geyser's conditional release. She's due back in court February 16th. 3 Wisconsin Department of Corrections staff are on leave after Morgan Geyser's escape from her group home.
The DOC is reviewing its procedures related to what happens when a GPS monitor is tampered with, and they've already made some changes. DOC Secretary Jared Hoy says an apprehension request will now be sent to law enforcement immediately after a tamper is confirmed, instead of requiring staff to try a system reset first. On the night that Geyser left her group home, over 2 hours passed from the time the first tamper alert was received to when the apprehension request was sent out. The corrections staff on leave are still under investigation. Jessica Gatso, WTMJ News.
Another Racine County community says no to a data center. Real estate developer Ken Nelson pitched the idea to the Yorkville Village Board and Plan Commission.
In the industry, the real estate industry, has generally assumed that nothing would be approved like that in Yorkville. I'm here to see if it's possible to change that.
But the board quickly denied the pre-application that Yorkville could serve as a backup site for the former Microsoft plans in Caledonia. Microsoft says it is not considering a data center development in Yorkville. Data centers could be the reason energy prices are skyrocketing. That might have to do with a lot of supply and demand. Climate Power Senior Advisor Jesse Lee tells WTMJ's Point Taken.
Energy demand has been pretty static for most of this century. It's been pretty level. And as data centers have kind of gone through this curve way up, we are seeing that pattern break for the first time in a long, long time.
Lee says federal efforts to cut clean energy are only weakening the supply. Energy rates nationwide have increased at twice the rate of inflation this year. Sports, traffic, weather, and next. Outdoor Living Unlimited. WTMJ News time is 6:04.
Without an Advent clinic nearby, people suffering needlessly from chronic nasal congestion and sinus infections would be stuck with either Band-Aid or sledgehammer solutions. Band-Aids are pills or nasal sprays, and they're not true solutions. Surgery is a sledgehammer, and that's what we're trying to avoid. Because most people don't need surgery for nose and sinus issues, nor do they want a 14-day recovery. Our unique Advent approach can, in 20 minutes in our office, open your blocked nose for good, with only 1-day recovery. I'm Advent founder Dr. Kandula. Outside of Advent's 4 walls, invasive surgery is what they'll recommend. But here you will find effective and convenient in-office solutions to help you stop the need for Band-Aids and avoid the sledgehammer.
Go to adventknows.com to schedule your appointment, because Advent knows when you breathe well, you live better.
AdventKnows.com.
Most insurance accepted.
Turn that office gathering into something bold, fun, and completely unexpected. A unique, unforgettable celebration at Mission 94 Firearms Education Center in Kenosha, where safety and education always come first. Whether it's a corporate event, team outing, or family get-together, Mission 94 delivers. Private range access for your group, expert instructions from trained professionals, and customizable catering. Make this season one to remember with the gift of education at Mission 94. Book your holiday event today. Just Google Mission 94.
It's WTMJ's Debbie Loziga for Car Edge. The stress of car buying is finally a thing of the past. Car Edge negotiates with local dealerships for you, keeping your personal info private. With an average of 20-plus years of dealership experience, Car Edge experts know every trick in the book, saving you time and money. No sales calls, no wasted hours playing games at a dealership, just the best deal on the car you want. WTMJ fans get 20% off. Call 414-667-7413 or visit caredge.com/WTMJ for a free no-obligation consultation today.
Time for a WTMJ sports update from the Gruber Law Office's One Call, That's All Sports Desk. Two of the top teams in the NFL will battle in Denver this Sunday. The Packers are sitting in first place in the NFC North, the Broncos atop the AFC West. Sunday's game is called for a 3:25 kickoff from Denver. Green Bay is currently a 2.5-point favorite. Baseball's winter meetings are underway from Orlando. Multiple reports indicate Brewers pitcher Freddie Peralta is drawing interest from teams around the league. Manager Pat Murphy.
I watched some of these contracts out there, and he's due to be a wealthy man, have a lot of acreage if he wants it. Maybe beachfront acreage wherever he wants it in multiple islands.
Peralta is under contract with the Brewers for next season. And Wisconsin men's basketball takes the floor tonight in Lincoln, Nebraska to face the 23rd ranked Cornhuskers. That's an 8 p.m. tip-off. Badger Sports Updates are sponsored by Siding Unlimited, siding and a whole lot more. Take a look at your roads with your WTMJ Time Saver traffic. Over on I-794 west of the ramp from Jackson Street, the right shoulder is blocked due to a disabled vehicle. Then over on Wisconsin Route 100 at Menominee River Parkway, the right lane is blocked due to a crash. If you're heading on Wisconsin Route 100 north at West Dakota Street, the left lane is blocked due to a crash as well. And then over on the ramp from I-41 894 south at I-43 south, left shoulder is blocked due to a crash. Other than that, roads are looking pretty clear across southeast Wisconsin. All right, time for your WTMJ forecast. Thursday is going to be mostly sunny with a high of 20. Friday, we'll get a chance of snow with a high of 26. Saturday, we'll get a chance for some flurries. It'll be very cold with a wind chill near 10 below zero with a high of 9. Sunday will be mostly sunny and very cold with a wind chill of 20 below zero and a high of 9. And Monday could be partly cloudy with a high of 14. Right now in Madison, it's 21. In Green Bay, it's 21. In Waukesha, it's 19. And right here in Milwaukee, it's 22 degrees. I'm Sean Brenda. Outdoor Living Unlimited. WTMJ News Time is 6:08.
Your need-to-know cultural snapshot of Wisconsin and beyond. This is What's on Tap with Sandy Max, sponsored by Visit Milwaukee. A deep dive into all things intriguing, riveting, and entertaining. Now, here's your host, Sandy Max.
Well, Sandy's not here tonight. I'm Libby Collins, in for her. She's with the Kids to Kids Trivia Showdown, along with Wisconsin Morning News Vince and Eric and Pancake, and they're all at Trattoria DiCarlo and Pizzeria in Oak Creek, but she'll be back with us tomorrow. We've got a busy show ahead today, and let me remind you that What's on Tap is sponsored by Visit Milwaukee, handcrafted, homegrown, world-class. Discover more at visitmilwaukee.org. Well, what do we have coming up tonight? Well, you may have heard the news that Dick Van Dyke's 100th celebration, it's a new film. It is only going to be in studios this Saturday and Sunday. And believe it or not, the producers from that show are right here in Milwaukee. And we're going to be joined a little bit later on by Michael Trinkline. Not only is he the producer of that, he was also, along with his partner Steve Betcher, they were behind the Pioneers of Television, which is a really interesting show. But we're going to talk about Dick Van Dyke tonight. That's coming up. Also, holiday season. So what do? Well, you go see the Golden Girls in drag. Oh, yeah. Yeah, they're going to be here tonight, too. We're going to talk with them. We also are going to hear about a new theater in Brookfield, the Bombshell Theater. Now, they've been around for a while, but they've only recently opened their new theater space, and it's amazing, and we're going to hear all about it in some of the shows they've got. Also, are you a Jeopardy fan? Well, if you were watching on Thanksgiving night, it didn't air at its regular time because there was football, right? Plus, we were all eating dinner. It aired at 12:37 that night. A lot of people missed it. But believe it or not, one of the contestants was from here in Milwaukee. Her name's Nicole Hasse, and she's a freelance writer. She made it to the Jeopardy stage, and she has a great story about what happens and how you get to the Jeopardy studio and what happens once you get there. We're going to be sharing that with you as well. And then also, coming up in just a couple minutes, right here in the studio, live, we have the members of the Country Air Tag Team, Zach Hendricks and Doc Simmons. They're going for the Brew City Wrestling Tag Team Championship on Saturday. We're going to hear all about it. We're going to hear about some of the beefs they've got with the guys they're going to be up against and what their strategy is. And, you know, they haven't held a title in about 3 years. So I think they are hungry right now. So they're coming up in just a couple minutes. We've got Caroline Kime. She's in here pushing those buttons for us. Sean Brenda's in the newsroom, and we've got a lot more ahead. It is What's on Tap right here on WTMJ. Libby Collins in for Sandy Max tonight.
Classic feeling. Your home is failing. Windows are old, roof looks horrible, siding is distressed. Even your front door fights you on everything. Hi, I'm Eric Brown, owner of Siding Unlimited, and I will be on the Fix It Show this Saturday from 8 to 9 a.m. 1 hour where you get to call in and ask about your failing home and how the professionals at Siding Unlimited can help you. Can't wait until Saturday? Bring your pictures to our Siding Unlimited showroom and let's chat. Start your home updating journey with Siding Unlimited at sidingunlimited.com.
Well, think you have the smarts? Join Vinny, Greg, Eric, and Sandy Max tonight for WTMJ's Trivia Showdown. It's going on at 7 o'clock tonight at Trattoria Di Carlo and Pizzeria in Oak Creek. It's all presented by Quizmaster Trivia, benefiting Capco's Kids to Kids Toy Drive. So come on out, bring an unused toy, or text the word TOY, T-O-Y, to 855-616-1620 to donate. Bring your crew and play for a great cause. It's the WTMJ Trivia Showdown getting underway at 7 o'clock this evening.
Gift cards from the historic Fox & Hounds restaurant make perfect holiday gifts because everybody loves a great dinner. Buy a $100 gift card to get a $20 gift card free. Order online at foxandhoundsrestaurant.com. Great stocking stuffers. Happy holidays from the famous Fox & Hounds.
Hi, this is Julie Coombs and Cindy Stormfisher with Stormfisher Investment Group. Are you a retiring professional worried about the direction of our economy, about making your money last? Come see what we can do for you. Let us show you how we take care of you to help you have a great retirement. We are at 262-796-8400 or stormfisher.com. See you soon.
Securities offered through Osaic Wealth Inc. Member FINRA SIPC. Advisory services offered through Osaic Advisory Services LLC. Osaic Advisory. Osaic Wealth and Osaic Advisory are separately owned, and other entities and/or marketing names, products, and services referenced here are independent of Osaic Wealth and Osaic Advisory.
As we approach a new year in Wisconsin, it's that time to recognize the people who made an impact in 2025.
Those whose work and energy left a mark across the state of Wisconsin.
The men and women who stood out.
All this week on Wisconsin's Morning News, we are unveiling the WTMJ Standouts of the Year,
or as they are widely referred to as, the SOTIs.
It's the Wisconsin's Morning News Standouts of the Year, only here on News Radio WTMJ. This is What's on Tap with Sandy Max.
Every man has a place. In his heart, there's a space.
And Sandy is going to Trivia Showdown tonight. That's why I'm here, Libby Collins. But I am joined in the studio by two men you may have heard of. They go by the name Country Air. It's Zach Hendricks and Doc Simmons. They are part of Brew City Wrestling. And as a matter of fact, this Saturday night, they've got a big show. We're going to hear all about that. But fellas, tell me, is it true? You haven't had a belt in 3 years?
Well, there seems to be a little confusion there, but we have not had the Brew City Wrestling tag team titles in 3 years. And that's a travesty.
Now, how did that happen? First of all, tell me how you lost it.
We had a triple threat match back May 2023
We had a triple threat match. We wrestled 2 young guys. Love to put them over. Josiah Vasana, Hua Ming, TAU, and another tag team, Stash Dance Revolution, Pete Schwans and XTC. Unfortunately,
don't worry about that spelling. It's the initials.
TAU plays dirty. They have a poison mist that got hit in the face.
Wait. A poison. What is a poison mist?
It is poison. We had to take him to the hospital and everything. It was terrible.
What do you, how do they do that? Well, how do they hit you with a poison
They
mist?
train in the mountains of Thailand, so there's probably things that we're not aware of that they know. Some dark secrets in Thailand's mountains. I don't know.
Do they have an instrument that they use as poison mist?
They came out the mouth. They came out the mouth.
Oh, so it's like halitosis. Are you sure that's not what it was?
Hey, I'm not going to say that Wah has bad breath. You said Wah has bad breath.
But we lost our belts, and then when we were about to make our return, unfortunately, my brother Doc suffered an injury, and that's where he's been out for the last 2 years. So even though we haven't had the titles in 3 years, 2 years, the tag division had a break from us.
Wait a minute, Doc, you were hurt? What happened to you?
Unfortunately, I tore my ACL and part of my MCL.
Oh, that makes it difficult. Now, did you do that in the ring?
It's fine.
But did you do it in the ring?
Yes, I did do it in the ring.
Okay, who were you wrestling at the time?
These guys don't matter. I kicked them in the face, and I kicked them so hard I tore my ACL.
You kicked them that hard?
I kicked them that hard I tore my ACL.
Well, wait a minute. You kick them in the face. It sounds like maybe you fight a little dirty.
I don't know what you're talking about. Kicks in the face, totally legal.
Wait,
totally legal.
Hold on.
Closed fists are illegal, but I am well within the rules to kick a man as hard as I can in the face.
No, okay, but aren't there any rules? I mean, what are the things that you can't do?
Of course there's rules, but kicking in the face is encouraged.
Okay, but is there anything you cannot do?
Oh, yeah, you can't hit with a closed fist. You can't bite. You can't pull hair. Can't poke in the eye.
You know, like the dirty play, but like what we're going to be doing Saturday, there's rules such as in tag team wrestling, one guy has to be the legal guy, one guy on the apron. You make a tag, the ref gives you 5 seconds to do your thing, so you can do a double team move, but you have 5 seconds. Unfortunately,
and we're very good in those 5 seconds.
We have a chemistry that the Caribbean arrogance ain't got. And we'll expose that Saturday, but
all right. Well, I know you don't really like to give any sort of publicity to the people you're wrestling, but you mentioned their name.
I have no problem.
You mentioned their name. They're Caribbean what?
Caribbean Arrogance, formerly known as Caribbean Connection, the tag team of Jay, Manny, and Chuco. They are like brothers. They've been doing this.
They're real brothers?
Real brothers.
Like, we're real brothers. What are you talking about?
Okay. Okay.
We pull off twin magic all the time. Yeah.
All right. So they're from the Caribbean?
Yes, they are from the Caribbean, from the Isle of Puerto Rico.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Okay. So what are you watching for with them that they might do?
Honestly, we're very familiar. Like when we broke in, they broke in. Like we were all friends at the beginning. We all traveled in the same car. Like there was 16 hours driving from here to Texas, us 4 together. You know, really bonding and all that. But as we started tag teaming more and going out, jealousy started. I don't know. We were comparing, trying to figure out trying to do the one-up spin. And I think we got the better of the one-ups, and they just weren't happy because I'm not trying to throw no daggers, but if you kick below the belt, there's some shade to be thrown.
Wait, they were kicking below the belt.
Yes, that is also illegal.
That's illegal.
That's also
but kicking in the face.
Kicking in the face, totally illegal.
Would you rather? I mean,
I'm very good at it. I'm very good at it.
You never hear a guy say, "Oh, he hit me in the face. What a cheap shot!" But you hit me below the belt. What a cheap shot.
Okay, I'm going to let people know because you're sitting down. If you're streaming us, by the way, we've got Country Air right here in the studio. Zach Hendricks and Doc Simmons. They're a tag team that are going for the Bruce City Wrestling Championship, tag team championship this Saturday night. But I'm going to say something about you, Doc.
What?
I don't want you.
I don't know what you're talking about. I'm the largest man in this room.
I do not want you to be offended. But
what can I be offended about?
How tall are you?
Oh, I am. I don't know. It's like I haven't found a ruler big enough to measure me.
No, wait.
Like,
Doc,
I don't think they make rulers that big.
When you came into the studio, I'm 5'4".
Oh, okay.
Okay. I've
never heard of such a small number.
We're about the same height. At least that was my
Oh, that was your
observation
impression.
as a reporter.
You
as a
think much
reporter,
of yourself.
I identified you maybe 5'5".
Like, okay, you identify as 5'5".
Yeah.
Okay, well.
No, I identified you as 5'5".
Oh.
I want to find out.
Was he hunched over?
Like I'm sitting down.
I want to find
In the
out
food
your
court.
skill set.
Yes.
Because a lot of these guys who wrestle, I mean, they're well over
Yes.
6 feet. And I want to find out what
Like,
your
I couldn't imagine being that short, but go on.
I want to find out your skill set.
Yes.
Of being someone who might be challenged.
No, it is very hard for me to walk into rooms. Doors are not large enough, but I do have a background in folk style wrestling. I was a pro boxer. I did karate. I have my black belt. I'm well versed in jiu-jitsu as well.
Hence kicking in the face. All right, we're going to have more with Country Air. Doc Simmons and Zach Hendricks right after this. It's all on What's on Tap on WTMJ.
Change your grocery game plan to locally owned Century Foods, home of the best meat, freshest produce, and tastiest treats.
And free groceries.
Okay, just calm down. We'll get to that later.
Stay tuned in right here to score free groceries.
Stop, please.
Okay, I'm shutting up. My lip is zipped.
Let's get to this week's specials at Century Foods. Now through Wednesday, save on 7 to 16 ounce selected varieties Barilla pasta, 2 for $3. 15 to 16 ounce selected varieties Bush's variety beans, 4 for $5. 1 pound selected varieties Land O'Lakes butter, $4.99. 12 to 40 count selected varieties Hefty One storage or freezer bags, $3.99.
And now time for the big reveal. Free groceries.
That's too over the top. Try this. Win free groceries from Century Foods. Forget it. I'll handle the rest. Enter to win $500 worth of free groceries on Century's Facebook or Instagram by December 31st.
Ring in your holiday season at the Bradley Symphony Center when the Milwaukee Symphony Orchestra and the Milwaukee Symphony Chorus present Hometown Holiday Pops, December 13th through the 21st. With 7 performances to choose from, there are plenty of opportunities for you to enjoy one of Milwaukee's most cherished and tuneful holiday traditions. Visit MSO.org for tickets and more information, or call 414-291-7605. Allen Bradley Hall will be the very portrait of holiday cheer as you delight in so many of your favorite seasonal tunes in world-class performances. With an audience sing-along, performances by the Milwaukee Handbell Ensemble, and even a visit from jolly old St. Nick, there's something for everyone to enjoy. Don't miss this chance to make cozy holiday memories with family and friends. The number again for tickets is 414-291-7605 or online at mso.org.
John Mercure here for Men's Studios. At Men's Studios, it's long-term wellness is the goal. You're going to feel great when you've been at that massage, when you get one of their 11 customizable treatments. You're also going to feel it long-term. You're going to be able to play with your grandkids, golf, do the things you want to do, pain-free. That's the goal at Men. Not just get you out of the crisis state, but get you into a state where you feel good all the time. They've got 2 locations. They customize everything. Check out the website, menstudio.com. I've been in the studios. They're absolutely gorgeous. They're nurturing. They're going to take care of you. Men's Studio.
If you missed this.
So, Tom, a lot of these developments typically on the ground level have retail or they have clinics or they have something else. I assume that would be part of this. Have some of those other options been discussed?
Or this.
But behind the scenes with David Crowley and Mandela Barnes, I mean, you have the temperature on everything that's going on. Is that kind of splitting a lot of people, or are people upset?
Catch up on the Wisconsin's Afternoon News podcast at WTMJ.com, presented by Dave Drakamp Heating.
What's on Tap with Sandy Max is back on WTMJ.
I'm looking at 2 guys who just lit up when I heard that walk-in music. We've got Country Air. They are from the Brew City Wrestling organization. They're a tag team. Zach Hendricks and Doc Simmons are going to be competing for the championship this Saturday night. By the way, where is...
Elks Lodge in Waukesha, Wisconsin. It's right off Springdale Road, December 13th. Doors open, I believe, 6:37. Bells at 7:30. Get your tickets at the door at brewcitywrestling.com. Yeah, it's a good time, family friendly. Right when you walk in, you'll see the merch. We always take that corner spot, letting
Yep,
the
you will
boys
be
know
the-
who are listening. That's our spot.
He'll probably be the first thing you see when you come in the doors. That beautiful face and long flowing hair.
How far in are you guys wrestling? I mean, because I know you get a lot of matches that night.
Average, I would say most match cards can go 6 to 8 matches, depending. So, like, sometimes we're early, sometimes we're late.
Yeah, I guess you're just gonna have to come,
Yeah.
as early as possible and see where we land.
We don't want to miss it. All right, I got to come back to you, Doc.
Yes.
Now that height thing.
Okay. Yes, I know. I'm taking up a lot of room in this radio station.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Did you guys know my son's a professional wrestler too?
Your
He's out
son-
with Brew City. He's with another thing out of state and everything. Yeah, he is. He's a big guy.
Okay.
He's like 6'3", give or take.
Okay. How does he
centimeter or two.
struggle with that?
Yeah. Okay.
Can he reach the top of the fridge?
And I've seen him, and he's wrestled, with other guys. I'm gonna be honest with you, Doc.
Mhm.
I've never seen a wrestler your height before.
Oh, I know. It's like, 10th wonder of the world over here. I take one step, I'm across the ring.
I want to know.
I have to get all my gear custom made. I can't just order it off the internet or anything.
Now you gave me some of your background, which is
Yes.
pretty impressive.
Thank you.
Boxer. Have you done? What is it?
No, I've done
okay.
jiu-jitsu. I'm
Okay.
a boxer.
You haven't been in
folk
the
style wrestling.
You haven't been in the hexagon.
No, I have not, but I've helped train people who have been in the
I was going to say, because with your skill set, I would think that you'd be suited for that.
Oh, yeah, but you know what? Pro wrestling is just so much fun.
All right.
Like,
So let me ask you this. What is your secret? Because, as you said, pro wrestling is a little different than these other things. And how do you adapt your skill set to be a pro wrestler at your height?
oh, yeah,
You
I think
you are vertically challenged.
I know it is very rough. It's hard to find training partners. They only come up to my knees, so it's very hard to train techniques. But I think because of that, I have had to have an open mind and be very inventive. So, while I respect everybody that steps into a cage, a ring, on a wrestling mat, I found that pro wrestling gave me an opportunity to flex my creativity in ways I couldn't imagine before.
All right, so let me ask you, Zach. You're how tall?
I'm like 5'11".
Okay, you're more the size of a normal wrestler. I mean,
I know.
Doc
I
makes me look small.
wish I had that problem.
So how did you feel teaming up with somebody who, and I'm going to use that term again, vertically challenged?
Hey, it is
like
what it
Zach.
is. It is what it is. You saw me coming in here.
Some might call it vertically challenged. I call it there's chemistry, and that's all that matters. Like in wrestling, size don't matter, height don't matter. You could be the biggest guy in the room. I'm still going to hit you hard across the face. Straight up.
I personally don't think height matters if I just kick you in the face hard enough.
Our first feud
I don't understand that, kicking in the face, but go ahead.
Our first feud at Brew City Wrestling, we wrestled Whiskey Bet and Hellbound. They're no longer a tag team. All these guys, big guys, 250.
I thought they were big.
We whooped
Not
them
as big as me.
At the size that we are. It's more about chemistry. And like I said, this is like not my friend. That's not my tag partner. This is my brother. So we've had my car's broken down in the middle of the road. My wife calls him. He's literally at the gas station, randomly already there and helping with the tire. Like 5 minutes in, we just are in sync. You can't match that. We're too in sync.
But we've had people like Yeti here in the studio.
Yes.
He's a lot taller
I've
than
heard
you are.
rumors of Yeti.
I've
seen sightings.
Big guy.
Were you
I don't know.
able
I've
to
only heard the
understand
rumors.
him? I know I can, but I also understand that he can't. Were you able to understand Yeti?
Well, Frankie DeFalco was here that night, and he helped.
okay.
He helped.
Oh, he was a translator.
He helped translate. But the thing is, he's big. He's a big guy.
Yeah. And I'm bigger. I know. It's fascinating.
Hey, Yeti, how many world championships you have?
All right. So what I need to know is, and we'll have to wait through the news because we got Sean Brenda. He is here. By the way, Sean, have you ever wrestled? No. Okay.
Sean is also vertically challenged, but in the opposite way. It was.
All right, so I want to get the strategy that you're going to be approaching the match on Saturday night, and it's where again, Zach?
It's at the Elks Lodge in Waukesha, right off Springdale Road.
Okay, and we'll talk about
that. Tickets at BrewCityWrestling.com.
We'll talk about that.
Doors open at 6:30.
We'll talk about that in just a second. With Country Air, they're here, Zach Hendricks and Doc Simmons, right after the news. But right now, it is 6:30. And from the WTMJ Breaking News Center, we have the very tall Sean Brenda.
Thanks, Libby. The FBI is offering a $10,000 reward for information about the death of a 12-year-old girl. In June, Marvea Darby was shot in the head in her sleep while she was sleeping when bullets were fired from outside her home. Months later, no arrests have been made, and the case has gone cold. Police believe a silver or gray SUV may be tied to the shooting. You can find more information on our website at WTMJ.com. A man from Wisconsin pleads not guilty to kidnapping his children and taking them overseas. 41-year-old Clyde Lewis Springfield is accused of leaving the country with his 4 children and failing to return them in November of 2021. Court documents show he took his children to South Africa. The children were located and rescued in March of 2022. Lewis Springfield was extradited back to the U.S. last month. If convicted of international parental kidnapping, he faces up to 3 years in prison. Governor Tony Evers signed 34 bills into law after vetoing 9 bills last week. Some of the new legislation includes Wisconsin Act 56, which increases the penalties associated with human trafficking and trafficking of a child. Act 57 requires public, private, and charter schools to notify parents if any misconduct at school affects their kids' safety or well-being. And Act 59 extends the statutes of limitations for prosecuting the crime of hiding or burying a corpse. The governor has approved around 70 bills this year. Take a look at your roads with your WTMJ Time Saver traffic. Over on I-794 west, the ramp from Jackson Street, the right shoulder is blocked due to a disabled vehicle. Then over on the ramp at I-41, 894 south to I-43 south, the left shoulder is blocked due to a crash. Other than that, roads looking pretty good across all of southeast Wisconsin. All right, time for your WTMJ forecast. Thursday will be mostly sunny with a high of 21. Friday, it's going to be a bit colder with a low of 9 degrees. If we're heading into Saturday, that's going to be a little more cooler as we are facing a temperature of chance of flurries, but a wind chill of 10 below zero with a high of 9. Sunday's going to be mostly sunny, very cold with a wind chill of 20 below zero with a high of 9. And Monday will be partly cloudy with a high of 14. Right now, over in Madison, it's currently 21. In Green Bay, it's currently 20. Over in Waukesha, it's 18. And right here in Milwaukee, it's currently 21 degrees. I'm Sean Brinda. Outdoor Living Unlimited WTMJ News Time is 6:32.
My husband's an animal in bed.
Well, you know.
Not in the fun way. Think warthog. With a chainsaw.
Snoring and sleep apnea affect over 90 million people, and 1 out of 4 couples sleep in separate rooms. Advent can help. We've been Milwaukee's one-stop solution for nasal congestion, snoring, and sleep apnea for over 20 years. Unlike many other practices, we focus exclusively on these conditions, so you get comprehensive care under one roof. Advent's unique approach can help you breathe and sleep better, and many avoid a CPAP. Plus, most insurance is accepted for our effective 20-minute in-office treatments.
Hey, the only animal you want in your bed is your dog.
Advent. Sleep better. Sleep together. Learn how you can improve your life at adventknows.com.
A buck doesn't buy much unless you're spending it at Griffin. For just $1 over cost, you can buy brand new tires from us. This is Jim Griffin. Any major brand, $1 over our cost with free tire repair and lifetime rotation. We'll even show you the invoice to prove it. Our only requirements, we put them on for you. Buy one or the whole set. The dollar deal from Griffin. Milwaukee and Waukesha. Griffin. The buck stops here, but the deals on tires don't. That's Griffin.
Not combinable with other tire offers.
Hi, WTMJ's Sandy Max here. What makes living at Three Pillars so special? Well, let's hear from my friends, Bill and Patty, a couple living quite happily on their campus.
It's a large campus. There's bicycle trails. There's ponds that they can go fishing in.
It's a big family-oriented organization. We go down and have meals together. We sit and chat. The meals are excellent. Three Pillars, it's just a fantastic place to live.
Schedule a tour today at threepillars.org.
Hey, Vince, trivia. Do you know the only country that starts with the letter O?
Oostburg.
What's the longest song to ever reach #1 in the Billboard?
Frampton. Do you feel... I don't know music.
Well, you might. Test your smarts with us, Wisconsin's Morning News, during the Trivia Showdown Wednesday, December 10th at Trattoria DiCarlo and Pizzeria in Oak Creek.
Bring a new unwrapped toy to help out the Capco Kids to Kids Toy Drive. Trivia starts at 7. We'll see you there.
One of the best things about the holidays is going home to be with family and friends. One of the worst things, getting there. Be safe this holiday season. Gruber's offices. One call, that's all.
Welcome back to What's on Tap on WTMJ.
Gotta explain this music to us because we've got the two guys from Country Air. They're the Bruce City Wrestling Tag Team. They're going for the championship on Saturday. Doc Simmons and Zach Hendricks. That's your walk-in music. Yeah, okay. Why that? Why'd you? Is that Nelly?
Yes, that is
why'd
Nelly.
Why'd you pick that one?
Because
I wish it was profound.
Yeah, like I wish we were more creative. It was we were tagging, and one day we saw Country Air was announced, and we were like, "Who the heck is Country Air?" And we messaged the promoter, Dysfunction, and he said, "That's you guys." I said immediately, "That's stupid." Doc was all about it. We got Country Grammar going. The crowd connected. And I'm grateful for it. But long story short, it was sprung on us.
We just had to come up with something on the spot. So we picked Country Grammar and it worked out.
Well, but you don't just wrestle with Bruce City. I mean, you literally go all over the country.
Yes, we do go over the all over the country. Bruce City Wrestling is our home. We talked about it with this feud with the Caribbeans.
We've been with Bruce City since 2018.
Yeah.
We had one thing good about Bruce City is we can leave for a while, and when we come back, it's not we get new people, we're wrestling guys. We see training at camp, all that stuff. But we can leave and go on. They're okay with it. Like us going to new states, traveling, getting those opportunities. Because at the end of the day, you could be a local guy, you could be all over, but it's what you want to make of it.
All right. And do you always wrestle as a tag team? Now, I know you were out for a while because you did kick somebody
very
and
hard
hurt
in the
yourself.
face. Yes.
And hurt yourself. But now
you should see his face.
I don't know that I want to. but so do you ever wrestle separately, or are you guys just brothers on the mat all the time now?
So it is like we said, I was injured for a while. But before that, it was almost exclusively. We were talking a little bit off air about our travel schedule, this week. That was our travel schedule all the time, right before I got hurt. So with that in mind, we were booked for a full year. I think I had 5 singles matches.
So, Doc, is this your comeback on Saturday night?
This is not my comeback. It's not a comeback, but we can call it a return to form. A return to form at Bruce City Wrestling.
Okay, and this is the big Wrestling Tag Team Championship.
Yeah. Honestly, this is, I would say, not even to toot our own horns, but the fans will tell you if you go up there. The one thing great about Bruce City and special about Bruce City is the fans, because they remember, they remember your day one to who you are now. And one thing everyone talks...
Unfortunately.
Yeah, unfortunately. But on the other side, as much as we're going to talk bad about them, Caribbean arrogance, they bring the best out of us and we bring the best out of them. Like we said, we've trained with these guys. We've known these guys for 8 years of our lives now, 7 years of our lives now. And we're going to bring the best out of each other. This is there's tag matches, but this is the tag match to watch.
And that's why it's not a comeback, it's a return to form. These 2 years, those guys have been lazy with the titles.
Oh, so the strategy is
The strategy is to bring the best out of them, because I don't want to wrestle a lazy champion. If I beat you, I want your best. Sorry, that's why we're your mama's favorites. We do it by the book. We're out of town shooters because we're going out of town, bringing that experience back here. And Caribbean arrogance has been just sitting at Bruce City, lazy, holding the championships, barely wrestling. Last month, they picked on Raven Radix is tough, but they wanted to pick on a woman. So Chucky Bates had to step up. So they're not even trying to bring tag teams to the division.
All right. So, Doc?
Yes.
You going to kick anybody in the face on Saturday night?
Yes, I'm going to
100%.
kick probably Jay, Manny, and Chuko. I don't want them to feel left out. If I kick one, I should definitely kick the
I have
other.
a feeling you are fast in the ring.
Yeah, that's what makes me the greatest heavyweight of all time. You've never seen such a large man move so fast.
All right. So, once again, bell time is 7 o'clock?
7:30.
7:30. I'm sorry. We'll get there early.
Get there early.
Yeah, you'll
Get there
post
early. Hang out.
You guys
Buy
will
some
pose for
merch.
pictures, right?
Buy some merch. We got pictures. If you want to take pictures of the future tag champs, we'll be there early.
Yep.
But I would say show up. It's a good time. I don't know how the weather's going to be, but it's going to be warm and hot inside.
As some people say, God loves wrestling, so I'm sure the weather will be good enough.
And you two are going to be bringing the heat on. Zach Hendricks and Doc Simmons, Country Air Wrestling for the Tag Team Championship, Saturday night, and that's at the Elkson.
Waukesha, Wisconsin.
All right. Yeah. Thanks so much for joining us, guys.
Thank you.
And coming up in just a couple minutes, have you ever wanted to be on Jeopardy? Well, we're going to share a story with somebody who was on. Matter of fact, you might have seen her. It was Thanksgiving evening, and boy, what a story she has to tell. It's all ahead on What's on Tap on WTMJ.
This holiday season, the Salvation Army needs your help. Bell ringers are working hard, and our service depends on generous donations like yours. Every dollar donated helps us provide meals, shelter, and emergency support to families in crisis, not just at Christmas, but all year long. From immediate need to long-term care, your donation can create lasting change in our communities. Join us in making a difference. Volunteer as a bell ringer or donate today. Visit salvationarmywi.org to learn how you can help.
There's a problem if your lawyer is famous for one phone call and a quick settlement. It weakens your position in a negotiation. Another problem is due diligence. That's what trial lawyers conduct when preparing a case. Things like lost wages, lifetime medical costs, and other variables that can't be considered in a quick settlement. In fact, one call and a quick settlement is exactly what the other side wants. Instead, call Habish, Habish & Rotier. National reputation, hometown service. Visit Habish.com to find out more.
This winter, treat yourself or someone you love to a getaway right here in Milwaukee. Milwaukee Hotel Month is coming with up to 25% off stays from January 14th through February 28th. From cozy boutique hideaways to modern downtown favorites, you'll find the perfect place for any kind of getaway. Enjoy world-class theater, inspiring museums, and award-winning dining, all paired with a warm, welcoming place to unwind after a full day of exploring the Brew City. Check in, chill out, and make winter feel a world away at visitmilwaukee.org/hotel month.
She's been putting off knee surgery for years, and she had a trip coming up to Ireland, and she knew she was going to be walking a lot more than she had become accustomed to. So she finally took a chance and called for an appointment. And it ended up helping her. She was able to do the walking and sightseeing pain-free. It led to an enjoyable trip, and I think we're going to be able to help her live a better life going forward. One that won't let pain stand in her way any longer. This is Rejuvenex founder Richard Salinas, and these are the kind of real-life stories I love to hear. Pain can take so much away from us, and when we can alleviate that kind of pain, it makes our purpose here at Rejuvenex that much more fulfilling. Don't let pain stand in your way any longer. Every day is precious. Take that next step. Schedule your appointment at Rejuvenex and start living your life again.
Alleviate your pain, rejuvenate your life.
Take a look at our Google reviews to learn more.
Clock's ticking on holiday shopping. Beat the rush and finish your list for less at Fleet Farm. Get a free DeWalt 20-volt max lithium battery with select Bear Tool purchases during DeWalt Deal Days. Save 30% on Field and Forest flannel for the family. And get 25% off our entire stock of slippers, in-store only. Wrap up your shopping at Fleet Farm with great gifts at the best prices guaranteed. And for even more gift ideas, check out our gift guides at fleetfarm.com.
You're listening to What's on Tap with Sandy Max on WTMJ.
I'm Libby Collins in for Sandy tonight. She is with the Kids to Kids Trivia Night, and that's taking place at Trattoria DiCarlo Pizzeria in Oak Creek. Gets underway at 7 o'clock. Well, I don't know how many of you watch Jeopardy. I know I'm a big fan, but on Thanksgiving night, Milwaukee freelance writer Nicole Haase competed. But you might have missed it because it aired at 12:37 overnight instead of its regular time slot. I talked with Nicole, And she told me what it was like getting to the Jeopardy studio. And believe it or not, you have to pay your own way to get there.
So they tell us that the recording studio is cold, so to dress warm. So I've got like pants on. I wore like a cute little leather jacket, and I get in the ride chair and the heat is blasting. And I was just like, what is happening? But that was the whole time I was there. It was really nice. And like the city bus had the heat on. And I just was like, California, you are not meeting these allegations right now. But yeah, so I'm like, got up early. They make you press all your clothes. I've done my hair and makeup, the preliminary. They ask you to do the start, and then they touch you up. And I get in this thing, and I'm like, oh my God, I'm going to sweat through all of this before we even get there. And then I'm carrying my bag of 5 other outfits.
So you get there, you walk across the street from the gas station, and you get there, and they send you to the green room?
Yeah, so first we start in like a parking garage because they wait for everybody to show up, and then you have to go through security.
In the garage?
Yes, you're in a
There's
little
a lot of garage stuff going on
There's a lot
here.
of garage stuff. My first very fun picture is it says Jeopardy contestants here, and I took a little selfie with it. I was the first one there. Very proud. I'm generally not an early person. I was texting my husband you should be very proud of me. So you wait there for a little while till everyone shows up. So you're just kind of sitting in silence as everybody walks up. And then the contestant coordinator grabbed us, and then we walked over to the studio, which is actually quite small. And we walked in and went right into the green room, which is not much bigger than the room we're in right now. It's pretty small.
How many of you were there?
I think it was 12 of us.
Do they give you any idea who you're going to be competing against or in what order you're going to be called on stage?
No, it took a little while, and then we figured out who was the returning champion.
How'd you figure that out?
I think somebody fully just asked at one point. And I was wondering because, again, I had all of my stuff, and I am a maximalist with dressing, so I had jewelry, I had all my makeup, I had a backpack full of stuff and my garment bag, and I saw a girl walk in with just her purse, and I was like, oh, could not be me. Wish that it was me. But I just remember looking at her and being there's no way I could have showed up just that casually. And then it turns out they bring in an alternate just in case somebody got sick or something happened that they wouldn't have to stop their filming. And she had been the day before's alternate, so her stuff was already there. But at the time, I remember thinking, not making fun of her, totally making fun of myself, that could not be me to show up here with her one little bag.
You mentioned makeup. Do you have to do your own makeup?
They ask you to do a basic. We still went into a makeup chair, but I think they didn't want to start from scratch. So they ask you to wear what you're
have your
comfortable
foundation
with.
or whatever.
Yeah. Well, I did get yelled at because I have a bunch of freckles, so I never wear foundation because it never looks right when I do it. I just end up looking like a big layer over all my freckles. And so the woman was like, oh, you don't have any base layer on. And I was like, I do not. So she had to do that for me.
Did they do your hair too?
She was happy with how my hair was. So I was pretty happy. I was happy with how my hair was. I'm short haired, so you never quite know. You're you shower and you do it in the morning and hope for the best. And I was pretty happy with it.
All right. So if you're there and you're now waiting and you're sizing up all the other contestants, what's going on in your mind as you're watching everybody?
I think it was too much nerves to worry too much about everybody else. I mean, I'm a journalist. I'm naturally curious. I was asking questions about where people are from and had a whole conversation about dogs with several people because I'm that person. But yeah, I was mostly just kind of taking it all in. The beginning's a little just sort of fast. You go out onto the stage to do practice so you can get used to being on the stage and get used to the buzzer and things like that. There's a whole lot of, sort of the legal, here's all the things standards and practices comes and talks to you and covers all that. You do some paperwork. And so you don't know what episodes you're going to film until right before. So when we got ready to go, Monday's episode, we knew the returning champion and they essentially pick names and put 2 people out there. We don't know at the beginning of the day what episode we're filming. So that was one of the harder parts of the day because as the previous episode filming finishes, they're like, okay, use the restroom, do hair and makeup touch up, and then they pick the 2 people. And if it's not you, then you sit back down. So it's a very roller coaster of emotion. Get ready to go on stage. Oh, I'm not going on stage.
So now you've been called. It's your turn. Mm-hmm. How many episodes had they filmed before you?
3, and we went to lunch.
Okay, so this is a long day, and you're just sitting and waiting. Were you anxious? Were you nervous? Were you just whatever?
I went against a super champion, meaning they had won. By the time I played Harrison, I think he was on his 13th win. And so I had watched him sort of demolish 6 other people to start the day. So and that was the part that was, I guess, not nerve-wracking, but I was just it did sort of get my competitive juices flowing, right? I was I want to beat this guy. What do I have to do? And so I was probably watching the games a little more strategically at that point because you can see the filming as it's happening. But I'm watching for what his tendencies are and how quickly he was very fast fast on the trigger finger. And also just he had more practice. Like by the fourth game in the day, he's real comfortable with that buzzer. They talk about like it can be harder for the person that's been filming all day just because it's exhausting. So that way there can be some fatigue. But I think he just was really comfortable on the buzzer at that point, which makes it harder.
Which you said, he was a super champion.
Yeah.
13 games already. I think he was, the most winning champion so far this season. But isn't he like up there in the top of
like
all-time
top 15,
people?
yeah.
Yeah. Which is huge.
Is huge. His job as game show researcher, he does trivia research for a game show in England. So that's intimidating, right? Like, and he's got a PhD, and there were several emotions, which was like, don't give up. Like, just because you're facing this guy, it's not all over. Like, psyching myself up. And I will say that the Jeopardy people were like, everybody loses. So like, yes, it's
even Ken Jennings lost.
Yeah, exactly. That's the thing. And so I was trying to not get too in my head about it and not get too bogged down in like, I just need to beat him, but also to try and take what I could from watching the other episodes he was in. Like, he wasn't betting huge when he got daily doubles, things like that. So just trying to like take what I could. And when we practiced, people were beating him on the buzzer. Like, yes, he's fast, but it felt like, okay, he's beatable. We can do this.
When you were finally on stage, did you know the answers to everything?
I knew the answers to probably 2/3 to 3/4. We had a very tough round. I don't know if people we had 12 triple stumpers, which means nobody rung in. And that's incredibly rare. It's rare to have more than like 1, 2, or 3. We just had a really tough board. So no, I didn't. I mean, there was a whole category on trees where we all just stood there and like looked at each other.
Did they have any category that you knew, I know all this?
Oh, I was so excited to get the sports category. There was an NFL category. So having watched all day, nobody else got a sports category. So I'm like, okay, there's definitely going to be a sports category. And you're just sitting there like waiting, like, come on. And so when it came up, that was probably the moment in my episode where I felt like, I'm okay, I can do this. If nothing else, like there's going to be some questions I most likely know the answer to.
And that is Milwaukee freelance writer Nicole Hasse. By the way, she does a lot on sports, particularly women's sports, women's hockey. That's kind of her specialty. But she was a guest on Jeopardy in the middle of the night on Thanksgiving. I talked to her at length. She's got so many great stories about this, especially you will be amazed how she actually ended up on the show. And you can hear that entire conversation on Sunday, January 4th at 11 o'clock in the morning. It is Nicole Hasse who was on Jeopardy. Coming up next, it's a song you need to hear, sponsored by Flanners Home Entertainment. You can visit them at flanners.com. At Flanners, music matters. Sound advice at the best price. Just press play.
In the Gospel of Matthew, Jesus invites John the Baptist's followers to tell John what you see and hear. Words aren't enough. Jesus reveals who he is by the miracles he performs. This is Archbishop Jeffrey Grob. In a world filled with screens and noise, we all long for something real. Real community, real purpose, and the real presence of Jesus Christ in the Eucharist. This Advent, come experience what is real. Join us at Mass.
Hey, this is WTMJ's Steve Scavini here to talk about my brand new show, WTMJ Outdoors. This week, talking deer hunting with Cole Gander from the National Deer Association, Milwaukee County Parks winter activities, and we wrapped up with Rose Gray Foxwood travel on international travel. How about an African safari? All things Wisconsin outdoors. Join us every Saturday, 2 to 3, right here on 620 WTMJ.
It's WTMJ Outdoors, presented by Outdoor Living Unlimited.
You know, Dad, we can't ever change.
Amen to that, son. And I'll tell you what, we'd have a lot of people to answer to if we did.
The fact that things have remained the same at Marty's going back all the way to 1957 is what makes it so special.
And it starts with a recipe for our sauce. It's the original, the same one that Marty taught me. It was there on day one, and it's still here today.
And it's never going away.
James, you stick with that attitude, and Marty's will be around for your kids to keep up their tradition.
And there are other things that make Marty's Pizza special.
Well, you got our untouched original recipe for our pizza sauce, and we have our own sausage made for us with our own recipe. We make everything fresh. Our own meatballs, our lasagna, our dough every day. We cut our vegetables fresh every day.
It's a labor of love.
This is Dick the Dad.
And James the Son from Marty's Pizza in Delafield.
Find out what keeps our loyal customers coming back for generations.
Right off I-94 and Highway 83 in Delafield.
Blaine's Farm and Fleet's huge gift sale is going on now, and that means unbeatable value on unique gifts for all the originals on your list. Like 40% off a special buy Milwaukee M12 3-tool combo kit, only $199. 20-pound bags of Blaine's brand black oil sunflower seed, $10.99. Rewards members save an extra $1. Plus, get $30 in Carhartt bucks for every $125 you spend on Carhartt gear. Knock out your holiday shopping for less during our huge gift sale only at Blaine's Farm and Fleet. Be an original.
I'm Libby Collins. This week on WTMJ Conversations, we talk with the mayor of Port Washington, Ted Knightsky.
It came down that Port Washington is one of 3 potential final sites for this company to move from Asia to the United States. And he says, hey, Port Washington was not chosen. Bad news. And I remember smiling. We kind of dodged a bullet. And that's when we got a phone call. What would you think about a data center?
WTMJ Conversations, Sunday mornings at 11 on WTMJ. You're listening to What's on Tap with Sandy Max on WTMJ. And now, feast your ears. This is the song you need to hear.
Most blokes are going to be playing at 10. These go to 11.
And the song you need to hear is sponsored by Flanners Home Entertainment. Visit them at flanners.com. At Flanners, music matters. Sound advice at the best price. Just press play. Well, the Golden Girls theme song is Thank You for Being a Friend. Now, that was written by Andrew Gold, and he originally recorded it in 1978. But the version used for the TV show was a cover recorded by singer Cynthia Fee. But you know what we're going to do? We're going to play that original recording that you heard on the radio.
Thank you for being a friend. Travel down a road and back again. Your heart is true, you're a pal and a confidant. I'm not ashamed to say, I hope it always will stay this way. My hat is off, won't you stand up and take a bow? And if you threw a party, invited everyone you knew, well, you would see the biggest gift would be from me, and the card attached would say, thank you for being a friend. 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 If it's a car you lack, I'd surely buy you a Cadillac. Whatever you need, any time of the day or night. I'm not ashamed to say, I hope it always will stay this way. My hat is off, won't you stand up and take a bow?
A little later on, we're going to be joined by cast members from the 9th Annual Golden Girls Holiday Dress Parody Show at La Cage. You're going to love hearing from them. But right after the news with Sean Brenda, we're going to be joined by Michael Trinkline. He's from Milwaukee, and he's the co-producer of Dick Van Dyke's 100th celebration, which you can only see in theaters this Saturday and Sunday, December 13th and 14th. Wait until you hear how this movie was put together. It's a great story, and it's all ahead on What's on Tap on WTMJ.
Thank you for being a friend. I wanna thank you. Thank you for being a friend. I wanna thank you. Thank you for being a friend.
WTMJ, W277CV, and WKTI HD2 Milwaukee from the Annex Wealth Management Studios. This is News Radio WTMJ, a Good Karma brand station.
Does music matter to you? Flanners Home Entertainment wants to help you have the best music experience at home. They've got high-quality products, the best prices, and high-fidelity expertise for the best sound in and outside your home. Now is a great time to shop Flanners with our Music Matters sale event. All speakers, all amplifiers, receivers, turntables, CD players, music streamers, and accessories are on sale. Visit Flanners Home Entertainment today in West Allis, Grafton, or at flanners.com. Sound advice at the best price. Flanners. Just press play.
I'm John Mercure, joined by Dr. John Wu, an orthopedic surgeon at Orthopedic Hospital of Wisconsin. Dr. Wu, thank you so much for spending some time with us.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Okay, you're a shoulder specialist.
Correct.
Let's start with this. What are the most common shoulder issues that you see?
A lot of times we see rotator cuff injuries. We see arthritis. Those are probably the most common we see, along with tendonitis, inflammation, other things that perhaps do well with therapy. And then sports injuries and labral injuries. Those are all common around the shoulder.
You are an accomplished surgeon. How important is it that people know that it's not always a surgical option? You will walk people through other options before surgery.
Yeah, absolutely. Even though surgery is in our profession, we're also physicians, and to me, it's very important when speaking to patients. It's not just all about surgery. It's about a relationship. It's about knowing what is out there, what your options are. You know, for me, at least for my practice, communication, being open, and having patients understand as much as they can, and me being an open book is very important to me.
How important is it that you work at a place like OHAU that has the best in physical therapy, diagnostics and imaging and all that sort of thing?
It's phenomenal. It's a luxury to have that, not only as physicians, to have people you can trust, both for therapy and diagnostic imaging, potentially even surgery, just to have a whole team available that's invested in not only our patients, but everyone else who gets sent there. They really do care about the outcome and the results that people get from OHAU.
What makes OHAU a special place?
I think the people, they truly are caring about getting good results and trying to get the best outcome for patients and helping them try to get better.
Start your journey to feeling better. It's very easy. Go to the website, ohau.com, OHOW.com. Request an appointment, and you will be on your way to living a better life. John Wu is an orthopedic surgeon at the Orthopedic Hospital of Wisconsin. Dr. Wu, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Gift cards from the amazing Mineshaft restaurant in Hartford make great holiday gifts, as everyone loves a delicious breakfast, lunch, or dinner. Buy a $100 gift card and get a $20 gift card free. It's easy. Order online at mineshaft.restaurant.com.
For WTMJ contest rules, visit WTMJ.com/contests. Breaking news as it happens. Stay up to date with your trusted and relevant source in news, sports, traffic, and weather. We are Wisconsin's radio station. News Radio 620, WTMJ Milwaukee.
At 7 o'clock, it's 21 degrees tonight. Expect a decrease in cloud coverage, and it'll be cold with a low of 9. From the WTMJ Breaking News Center, I'm Sean Brinda. The Federal Reserve has cut interest rates by a 1/4 percentage point, and the hope is that this could help lower borrowing costs. News Nation's Maddie Beertemple.
Bankrate financial analyst Stephen Cates says this cut alone may not make a big difference, but when combined with the other 2 cuts this year,
that does lower borrowing rates.
The rate cut comes as the White House is putting a focus on affordability, something President Trump has called a Democrat hoax. During a rally in Pennsylvania Tuesday, Trump blamed former President Biden for inflation.
They caused the high prices.
But Democrats like California Congressman Pete Aguilar say cost of living concerns could get worse as healthcare costs are set to soar with subsidies expiring at the end of the year.
Republicans have no real plan.
New interest rates are now between 3.5% to 3.6%. Offering $10,000 for information into a death investigation. 12-year-old Marvea Darby died after being shot while she slept on June 13th. Police say rounds were fired into a house near 73rd and Fairmount. Milwaukee Police Inspector Paul Lowell tells WTMJ.
This reward we're hoping will help us bring closure to a very difficult case. Every homicide we investigate is difficult, but when you have a 12-year-old child, a beautiful girl, asleep in her house, and bullets ring through, it's troubling. So we're hoping right now that any shred of information, no matter how small somebody thinks it is, it could be huge to us.
You can find more information on our website at WTMJ.com. A man from Wisconsin pleads not guilty to kidnapping his children and taking them overseas. 41-year-old Clyde Lewis Springfield is accused of leaving the country with his 4 children and failing to return them in November of 2021. Court documents show he took his children to South Africa. The children were located and rescued in March of 2022. Lewis Springfield was extradited back to the U.S. last month. If convicted of international parental kidnapping, he faces up to 3 years in prison. A big win for a wildlife sanctuary in West Bend.
The town of Farmington passed an amendment to its zoning code, which now permits the Shalom Wildlife Sanctuary to engage in zoological activities. This comes after two neighbors filed a lawsuit against Shalom and the town, which intends to shut down the zoo. The lawsuit claims the wildlife sanctuary is not following the township's conditional use permit. Zoo leaders and community members are hoping the update to the zoning code will end the legal proceedings, but the case is still pending. Neil Doyle, WTMJ News.
Housing development could be coming to American Family Field. Dale Quingo with the Metropolitan Milwaukee Association of Commerce tells Wisconsin's Afternoon News the three options being proposed.
Two that had development on the river, and there was one that was off the river. And my knee-jerk reaction was, you got to use the water. I mean, water just adds it's just a cool factor. So they would widen out that river a little bit, and then the development would be on the river.
If approved, residential costs for housing could cost millions. Sports, traffic, weather, and Outdoor Living Unlimited. WTMJ News time is 7:04.
Matt LePay for Steinhoffels. Steinhoffels is a proud partner of Wisconsin Athletics. Since 1934, Steinhoffels has been Wisconsin's furniture and mattress destination for quality, selection, and service. For over 90 years, Steinhoffels has helped Wisconsinites create the homes of their dreams and is 100% employee-owned. Steinhoffels has the largest selection of all the latest styles and all the best mattress brands. You'll find something for every style and every budget. Shop in-store or online at steinhoffels.com. Relax, it's Steinhoffels.
Craving that crispy, cheesy, thick Detroit-style pizza? Well, now you got it with Screamin' Sicilian. Screamin' Sicilian delivers the crunch, the gooey cheese pull, and that light, airy crust that you love, all baked in its own pan for those crave-worthy caramelized edges straight from your home oven. You got the cheese, the pepperoni, multi-meat, or supreme. It's like dining out, but without the hefty bill. Find Screamin' Sicilian in your local grocer's freezer section. Screamin' Sicilian, Detroit-style, thick, crispy, unapologetically screamin'.
Accunet Mortgage is an equal housing lender. NMLS ID 255368.
Flimsy, feeble, flaccid. That's how you can describe most pre-approval letters these days, because most banks still issue pre-approval letters without actually verifying your income, employment, or down payment. That's the exact opposite of an Accunet rock-solid, fully verified and guaranteed pre-approval, where we put a $2,000 guarantee behind the fact the seller can actually rely on the terms of your pre-approval and offer. With Accunet, there's also a possibility of issuing a property-specific pre-approval with as little as a 10% down payment that includes the magic words, "no appraisal required." That's right, Accunet may be able to issue your pre-approval without needing an appraisal. That's the kind of certainty that can help a seller say yes to your offer. Sure, you can try competing with a flimsy bank pre-approval, or you can click on the blue button at Accunet.com and get started with the pre-approval listing agents and sellers recognized as the best in the business. That's ACCUNET.com.
Time for WTMJ Sports Update from the Gruber Law Office's One Call, That's All Sports Desk. Two of the top teams in the NFL will battle in Denver this Sunday. The Packers sitting in first place in the NFC North, while the Broncos are atop the AFC West. Sunday's game is set for 3:25. Green Bay is currently 2.5-point favorites. Baseball's winter meetings are underway from Orlando. Multiple reports indicate Brewers pitcher Freddie Peralta is drawing interest from teams around the league. Manager Pat Murphy.
I watched some of these contracts out there, and he's due to be a wealthy man, have a lot of acreage if he wants it. Maybe beachfront acreage wherever he wants it in multiple islands.
Peralta is under contract for next season. Wisconsin's men's basketball team takes the floor tonight in Lincoln, Nebraska to face the 23rd ranked Cornhuskers. That's an 8 p.m. tip-off start. Badger Sports Updates are sponsored by Sighting Unlimited, Sighting, and a whole lot more. Taking a look at your roads with your WTMJ Time Saver traffic. Got a disabled vehicle on Milwaukee Street to I-794 West, so be aware of that. Over on I-94 East at the ramp from Wisconsin Route 164 and County Highway J, right shoulder is blocked due to a disabled vehicle. Then over on the ramp from I-41 894 South to I-43 South, the left shoulder is blocked due to a crash. Other than that, road's looking pretty clear across southeast Wisconsin. All right, time for your WTMJ forecast. Thursday is going to be mostly sunny with a high of 20. Friday, we'll get a chance of snow with a high of 26. Saturday, we'll get a chance for some flurries, but it will become a very cold with a wind chill near 10 below zero, with a high of 9. Sunday will be mostly sunny and very cold with a wind chill near 20 below zero with a high of 9. And Monday will be partly cloudy with a high of 14. Right now in Madison, it's 22. In Green Bay, it's 19. In Waukesha, it's 19. And right here in Milwaukee, it's currently 21 degrees. I'm Sean Brenda. Outdoor Living Unlimited WTMJ News Time is 7:08.
Your need-to-know cultural snapshot of Wisconsin and beyond. This is What's on Tap with Sandy Max, sponsored by Visit Milwaukee, a deep dive into all things intriguing, riveting, and entertaining. Now, here's your host, Sandy Max.
And What's on Tap is sponsored by Visit Milwaukee. I'm Libby Collins in for Sandy. She's at the Kids to Kids Trivia Showdown, along with Wisconsin Morning News crew at Trattoria DiCarlo and Pizzeria in Oak Creek. Michael Trinkline has been nominated for 3 Emmys, along with his co-creator, Steve Betcher. They produced Pioneers of Television for PBS. They also did Betty White, A Celebration, and Robin Williams Remembered. But their latest film is Dick Van Dyke's 100th celebration in theaters. It's only going to be in theaters this weekend, December 13th and 14th. Michael, you live right here in Milwaukee.
I do. I live just south of Port Washington, and I grew up in Cedarburg.
So you are doing all of these Emmy-nominated shows, big shows about people like Betty White and certainly the Pioneers of Television, which was huge when that came out. You do that all right here.
Yeah, we do. We do all our production in Wisconsin. Of course, we went to California or New York or wherever the celebrity lived to do the interviews. And I've interviewed 100 people over the years. From Jerry Seinfeld to Dick Van Dyke. We even go back to even the Milton Berle days. And I think part of it is that I think people in Middle America really appreciate these stars more. I think on the coast it's kind of a disposable celebrity thing, but we keep these people in our hearts as part of our family. And I think both Steve and I, my co-producer Steve Betcher, we show up with a certain amount of respect and care and knowledge for these celebrities that they don't maybe get later in their career. So I remember when we one time interviewed the Price is Right host, Bob Barker, and we were, Steve said, Mike, we got to wear suits. So we wore suits, and he was like, he had all these, like Entertainment Tonight and TMZ and all these shows that wanted to talk to him. It was like his last week on the job. And he said, no, I'm talking to those boys in the suits. And so he spent time with us. And I think that's part of our approach to these things is to treat these people with the respect they deserve because they're very talented, whether they're on a famous show right now or not.
When you were growing up in Milwaukee, what were you watching on TV?
It's funny because I did watch the Dick Van Dyke Show every afternoon. It was on every afternoon in Wisconsin. It was syndicated. And so I think I've got through all those episodes right after Gilligan's Island, before the Brady Bunch on Fridays. But Dick Van Dyke was a big part of my growing up, and I know a lot of those episodes by heart.
What was it about that show that drew you to that character?
It's funny. It's different for everyone. Some people, Mary Tyler Moore is so sweet and pretty, and other people, it's, they just like the whole storyline. For me, it was the idea of those scenes when they were in the office with Maury Amsterdam and Rosemary and Dick Van Dyke, and they were in the writing room, and they were throwing jokes back and forth, and he would tell a joke, and they would tell a joke, and then there was this kind of a joke. And I, as a kid, 8, 9, 10, 11 years old, thinking, wow, people can actually write funny stuff for a living. That's really cool. And that's kind of what I do today. Not exactly the same, but I mean, it was really an inspiration. And I love those parts of the show as a kid. So, yeah, I was a big fan of the show and just loved the writing room angle of it.
Well, one thing about the show that I don't know if everybody's aware, but I think you bring this up in the 100th celebration, and that is the part of Rob Petrie wasn't created for Dick Van Dyke.
No, it's very funny. It was originally created by Carl Reiner to be a vehicle for himself, and he played the role that we now see Dick Van Dyke in. And I've seen that pilot, and there's some excerpts in the film. It's just kind of funny to see that everything kind of turned upside down with different actors playing, the Rosemary and Maury Amsterdam part, and Carl Reiner playing the Dick Van Dyke part. And the show went to the producer, who's Sheldon Leonard, and he said, Carl, I love the show, but I don't love you. So they went looking for someone to fill that role, to play that part. And Dick Van Dyke had just come off Bye Bye Birdie on Broadway, and it was kind of a natural star. And they put him into the show and called it the Dick Van Dyke Show. But yeah, there is a version of that show with all different people playing different roles, right down to the Mary Tyler Moore role. It's very funny.
Who played her?
I don't remember her name. I'm sorry, I don't know. But
Yeah.
I remember her face.
But so she wasn't memorable in the part, obviously.
Yeah.
So one of the things that you did in the 100th celebration of Dick Van Dyke is you went back to Danville with him. Let's talk a little bit about him, because he grew up as a Midwest guy, born in Missouri, raised in Danville, Illinois, which really is kind of a, two stoplight town?
Right. Yeah, Danville is an interesting community. I've been there a lot lately, not just for this film, but my son is a postdoc researcher at the University of Illinois, so it's right nearby in Champaign. So I've been to Danville a lot, and there's the Dick Van Dyke appliance store in Danville. It's kind of funny because they all love Dick Van Dyke. There's posters of him all over town. It's like they'd probably like to rename it Dick Van Dykeville. But not only was Dick Van Dyke born there, of course, his brother grew up there, Jerry Van Dyke from the Coach TV series. Gene Hackman grew up there, and he was kind of in their little play group when they were little kids. In fact, I found out later that my wife is actually related to Gene Hackman. He's like her uncle, great uncle.
Wait, Gene Hackman and Dick Van Dyke used to play together as kids?
Well, Dick was a little older, and Jerry was younger, and Jerry was, I think when Jerry was like 8, 9, 10, little Gene Hackman was like 3 or 4 running around, and they'd kind of kick him out of the group because he was too little. So, yeah, and Donald O'Connor was there. I mean, there were a lot of interesting people all in this tiny little town of Danville. And part of the reason is, I think, and this comes out in the film, where we go back to that high school, and they had a very good performing arts program at that high school. And that's where Dick Van Dyke got his start. And I think that town really wants to kind of cherish that memory by giving its nod to the arts and not just being about, every town has a great, tries to have a great football team or something, but Danville, they really work to have the performing arts as part of their educational process, and Dick Van Dyke benefited from that.
And where did he go from there? He didn't even graduate, did he, from high school?
No, he wanted to join the Army, and...
Because it was during World War II,
Or was it Air Force? Yes, it was during World War II, and he wanted to fly jets, and he was underweight. This was his problem. He wasn't, he's kind of a skinny guy, and he didn't fit their parameters. And so he went to do performing radio and other kinds of performing for the armed services. Yeah.
Who doesn't need a seasonal wardrobe update? But who has the cash to always keep their wardrobe updated? Ladies, that's why you shop St. Vincent de Paul. Our women's clothing is always a highlight of our stores, and thrift store prices keep the costs low. It allows you to experiment and also find a hidden gem. St. Vincent de Paul thrift stores on Highway 100 in Layton and Greenfield, 23rd in Lincoln, and 76th and Bradley Road in Milwaukee.
You're gonna love it, St. Vincent de Paul.
As we gather for the holidays with loved ones, it's time for celebration. But it's also an opportunity to connect and observe how our loved ones are doing, both physically and mentally. Now, if you're noticing some changes in your loved one, 3 Pillars Senior Living Communities in Dousman offers a plethora of resources and free educational programs, all to support families and individuals who might be ready to transition to the caring, top-rated environment that 3 Pillars offers. Phone. Give them a call. Talk to them at 800-848-5306 or visit 3pillars.org for more information.
Drafty windows means wasted money. Call Siding Unlimited today for energy-efficient replacement windows and doors and start saving now. For a free estimate and honest price guarantee, go to sidingunlimited.com.
Are you looking to hire? ZipRecruiter finds the best candidate for your job fast. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ziprecruiter.com/free.
While you rest on the weekends, we work for you. Wisconsin's Weekend Morning News with Libby Collins. The latest in news.
What we're predicting is that women who are hackers are going to double.
Entertainment.
Sinclair has a very conservative approach on a national scale, and they tend to force their local stations to use this national content.
And more.
What we do know right now, Libby, is I'm wearing 3 pairs of pants, so yes, I am prepared for the frigid temperatures.
Every Sunday morning starting at 8 on WTMJ. This is What's on Tap with Sandy Max.
And welcome back. I'm Libby Collins in for Sandy. We're talking with producer Michael Trinkline about his latest documentary, Dick Van Dyke's 100th celebration. It's in theaters only this Saturday and Sunday. The Dick Van Dyke Show, and even Bye Bye Birdie, he was in his, mid to late 30s by the time those parts came apart. there was a long time from his late teens that he was trying to make it as a performer, but never quite hit it.
Libby, you have got it. This is the talking point of the day because I think it gives hope to all people because he was certainly talented, right? I mean, he could do amazing things. He did a touring show where he was like a mime. He did little comedy sketches. He was in a group with people who did comedy, kind of like, you might think of Second City today. And he went nowhere, right? And then finally, CBS picked him up and they said, this guy's got talent. We've got to find something for him. And they gave him the worst possible things. They gave him like a morning news show, which he wasn't really good at. They gave him a kids show where he introduced cartoons. He wasn't really good at that. They gave him the CBS morning news show with Walter Cronkite, who was just getting started in television.
Wait, Walter Cronkite?
Mm-hmm.
And who did the news? Van Dyke or Cronkite?
Well, Cronkite did the news, and then Cronkite got fired or moved or something, and then he complained, that Dick Van Dyke actually fired him. And Dick Van Dyke's like, I'm a kid, I couldn't have fired you. The anecdote's in the film, and we actually have some great images of them working together. So, so he couldn't find the right role, and CBS, they knew he was talented, but they couldn't find the right thing for him. And so you're right, it wasn't until his mid-30s that he actually got, Bye Bye Birdie and then the Dick Van Dyke Show at that time.
Did you talk to him about how he got the part in Bye Bye Birdie? Because that was really his big break.
It was. I think that what happened is he would go to auditions all the time on Broadway, and he had some small things here and there. But you could tell in an instant he was different, right?
In what way?
Carl Reiner described it in the film as his body was built with hinges where people don't have hinges. He's just really, that Ottoman fall at the beginning of the Dick Van Dyke Show. I mean, that's the kind of thing he could do instantaneously. In fact, when we interviewed him, he's in his 90s. And we're coming down the elevator, walking him back to his car, and someone says, oh, can I get a photo? He's like, not a photo. We're going to dance. And he's dancing with people, right? And he's good, obviously. So even back then, he really had this ability to just immediately do moves and maneuvers that normal people can't do. And so, and then, of course, he also has this great voice. And he talked about, even in Danville, as this young Midwestern boy growing up, that he had this deep voice that immediately could project to the back of the room. He kind of talks about this in the film about his time in high school, and that immediately kind of made him, the guy who got all the parts in the high school plays because he could project. And of course, so he has this voice, he has this fantastic physical comedy ability, and then he also can sing, right? And he also, is just a nice person to be around. So all those things together kind of finally landed him the Bye Bye Birdie role.
How tall is Dick Van Dyke?
I don't know. He's well over 6 feet, but I don't have the number.
So he had a lot of presence, a lot of stage presence as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, he's definitely got stage presence, and you could see that. It's kind of funny. There would be the speaking of his dancing and singing abilities, we interviewed Carl Reiner too, and I remember one of the questions I asked him was about some of these singing and dancing sections in the Dick Van Dyke Show. And what he would do is he would write a script. Instead of a 25-page script, it would be like a 20-page script. And then he would say, okay, after Act 3, Dick Van Dyke does 10 minutes. Okay, then we go back to the story. Because he could do that. Dick Van Dyke could just come up with, a bit where he would dance or sing or do something. And there are all those, if you watch the show, there are all these episodes where they would start singing and dancing, as part of the plot, but it would be what they would do.
When he was cast in the Dick Van Dyke Show, this was, as you said, it was just after he left Broadway with Bye Bye Birdie. So he's doing the Van Dyke Show, and they decided to make Bye Bye Birdie into a movie. Was he always intended to be in that role? Because so often the Broadway actors don't make it into the film.
Right. Well, that's a bone of contention, and it's one of, I think, the regrets of his career is that they changed the film, right? So from the Broadway play. In the Broadway play, he was a major role. In the film, he was more of a minor role, and they added this Anne Margaret character, and Anne Margaret, has her attractions, and so she got more time in the film, and Dick Van Dyke got less, and he's not the kind of guy who would throw a tantrum or be angry. That's just not his personality. But at the end of the day, it wasn't what he had hoped that film would be.
We're talking with Michael Trinkline. He is one of the co-producers of Dick Van Dyke's 100th celebration. It's only in theaters this weekend, December 13th, which happens to be Dick Van Dyke's 100th birthday, and Sunday the 14th. We're going to talk more about Dick Van Dyke and some of the accomplishments he did, but also coming up in just a couple minutes, I'm going to ask Mike what he thinks about this proposed takeover of Warner Brothers. We'll get his answer right after this. It's all ahead on What's on Tap on WTMJ.
We work on hydronic heating, inside and out. A whole home radiating hydronic system that heat the inside of your home and your floors, or under your driveway, porch, or patio to do a snow melt, could be one of the best investments you'll ever make. Call Quality for whole home radiating hydronic heating ideas that turn freezy cats into happy campers.
Call Quality for the signature service you deserve.
Call Quality. Heating, cooling, plumbing, and electric. You'll find that the licensed and certified electricians from Quality are top-notch. We've been around for over 60 years, so expect nothing but the best. And here's the kicker. With over 60 vehicles out there on the roads, you're not going to have to wait very long at all for the electrical service you need now. This is Anthony Zanevsky. For all your residential electrical needs, call Quality.
Call Quality for the signature service you deserve.
Call Quality. Heating, cooling, plumbing, and electric.
This winter, treat yourself or someone you love to a getaway right here in Milwaukee. Milwaukee Hotel Month is coming with up to 25% off stays from January 14th through February 28th. From cozy boutique hideaways to modern downtown favorites, you'll find the perfect place for any kind of getaway. Enjoy world-class theater, inspiring museums, and award-winning dining, all paired with a warm, welcoming place to unwind after a full day of exploring the Brew City. Check in, chill out, and make winter feel a world away at visitmilwaukee.org/hotelmonth.
When you've thrown over 4,000 innings like I have, you know joint pain isn't a maybe, it's a guarantee. For you, was it climbing ladders or too much heavy lifting? Hey, we're all in the same boat. But surgery, that was never my answer.
Baseball legend Roger Clemens knows there's a better way. That's QC Kinetics regenerative treatments that help your body heal itself. No scalpels, no fake fixes, just real relief.
What I love about QC Kinetics, these are the most respected medical pros in the country that specialize in non-surgical therapies to get you moving again.
Don't mask the pain, fix it. Call QC Kinetics now for a free consultation.
I trusted QC Kinetics. You should too.
Call QC Kinetics today and schedule your free consultation.
Call QC Kinetics, 414-667-5559. That's 414-667-5559. 414-667-5559.
As we approach a new year in Wisconsin, it's that time to recognize the people who made an impact in 2025.
Those whose work and energy left a mark across the state of Wisconsin.
The men and women who stood out.
All this week on Wisconsin's Morning News, we are unveiling the WTMJ Standouts of the Year.
Or as they are widely referred to as, the SOTIs.
It's the Wisconsin's Morning News Standouts of the Year. Only here on News Radio WTMJ. This is What's on Tap with Sandy Max.
Well, Sandy's off tonight. I'm Libby Collins. We're back with Michael Trickline. He, of course, is one of the producers of Dick Van Dyke's 100th celebration. It's in theaters this Saturday and Sunday only. Before we go to break, Mike, I have to ask you this question. Everybody's talking about this attempted hostile takeover of Warner Brothers by either Netflix or Paramount. As a producer, how do you feel about that?
Well, I prefer to have as many different companies out there as possible and fewer mergers. I mean, we have a show on Peacock right now about Gary Coleman. Our show on Betty White was on Netflix, and then it was also on Peacock because everybody wanted her at the time that she passed. So, if you're a producer, you want to be able to shop your wares to as many places as possible. So it's nice to see as many different. You hate to see a big conglomerate. When I grew up, when you grew up, there were just 3 networks, and it was really hard for independent producer to really work in that world. So as there are more and more outlets, that's good if you're a producer.
So as a producer, is it easier to sell things now or more difficult?
In some ways it's more difficult because the budgets are so much higher, then there's so much risk involved that they don't want to. they don't want to take as many risks as maybe they used to.
And that is Michael Trinkline. He is one of the producers, along with Steve Betcher, who, by the way, used to be a cameraman at TMJ4. And together they produced Dick Van Dyke 100th Celebration. It is going to be taking place only in theaters this weekend, all over the city, all over the country for that matter. And it is just a wonderful look back at Dick Van Dyke, all of the things he accomplished. And they did so many interviews. I mean, it took years to put this together because, as Mike will be telling you here in the next portion, they talked to everybody from like Carl Reiner to even Rosemarie and Maury Amsterdam and so many others. And Mike and Steve have done a lot of television. They are the men behind some big documentaries that have been on PBS, including The Pioneers of Television. They did the things about people like Johnny Carson and Steve Allen, and they've just accomplished so much, and they have so many different shows. But again, tonight we're talking about Dick Van Dyke 100th Celebration. We're going to have more with Mike Trinkline after the news, but it is 7:30, and that means we've got Sean Brenda in the WTMJ Breaking News Center. And Sean, what's going on tonight?
Thanks, Libby. A man from Illinois is convicted in connection to a store shooting in Waukegan. Now 23-year-old Caleb Brown of Lake Villa was found guilty of aggravated battery with a firearm last Friday. Brown shot a 19-year-old employee at a Dollar General in the face after attempting to return to the store to shoplift back in February of 2022. The employee suffered severe facial injuries. Brown now faces up to 30 years in jail. Slenderman assailant Morgan Geyser is no longer in the Waukesha County Jail. The Sheriff's Department confirms she was moved to a different facility but did not disclose where. Her attorney, Anthony Kahn, has requested she be moved back to Winnebago Mental Health Institute while awaiting her next hearing. Geyser was found in Illinois with her friend Chad Mecca last month.
Before I let you go, Mike,
after
I have to ask you this
escaping
question.
her group
Right
home.
now,
The state has filed a petition to revoke Geyser's conditional release. She's due back in court February 16th. Wisconsin issues more than $13 million in fines under its new vape law. Exclusive Tobacco was fined twice after inspectors found more than 1,000 illegal vapes at its Oshkosh store. According to the Journal-Sentinel, the shop was fined $1,000 for each vape they shouldn't be selling, and that added up to more than $12 million. Another shop in Green Bay was fined about $450,000. The state has ordered dozens of retailers to remove illegal products. Take a look at your roads with your WTMJ Time Saver traffic. We've got a disabled vehicle on Milwaukee Street to I-794 West. That is going on right now. And then over on the ramp from I-41 894 South to I-43 South, left shoulder is blocked due to a crash. Other than that, roads are looking pretty clear across all of southeast Wisconsin. All right, time for your WTMJ forecast. Thursday is going to be mostly sunny with a high of 20. Friday, we'll get a chance of snow with a high of 26. Saturday, we will get a chance of flurries, but then it's going to be very cold with a wind chill near 10 below zero with a high of 9. Sunday will be mostly sunny, but even more cold than Saturday with a wind chill of 20 below zero with a high of 9. Monday will be partly cloudy with a high of 14. Right now, over in Madison, it's currently 22. In Green Bay, it's 18. In Waukesha, it's 18. And right here in Milwaukee, it's currently 21 degrees. I'm Sean Brenda. Outdoor Living Unlimited. WTMJ News Time is 7:32.
AccuNet Mortgage is an equal housing lender. NMLS ID 255368.
Flimsy, feeble, flaccid. That's how you can describe most pre-approval letters these days because most banks still issue pre-approval letters without actually verifying your income, employment, or down payment. That's the exact opposite of an AccuNet rock-solid, fully verified and guaranteed pre-approval, where we put a $2,000 guarantee behind the fact the seller can actually rely on the terms of your pre-approval and offer. With AccuNet, there's also a possibility of issuing a property-specific pre-approval with as little as a 10% down payment that includes the magic words, no appraisal required. That's right. AccuNet may be able to issue your pre-approval without needing an appraisal. That's the kind of certainty that can help a seller say yes to your offer. Sure, you can try competing with a flimsy bank pre-approval, or you can click on the blue button at AccuNet.com and get started with the pre-approval listing agents and sellers recognized as the best in the business. That's ACCUNET.com.
Milwaukee Weight Loss is extending their huge holiday sale with $300 off now through December 26th with the lowest prices of the year on the result-getting Milwaukee Weight Loss program. We know the secret to losing up to 1 pound of fat every day with no exercising, no prepackaged meals, no counting points or calories, no drugs, no surgery, and no injections with the risk of serious side effects. You can start losing those unwanted pounds either before, during, or after the holidays. No more losing weight and gaining it back. You can keep the weight off for good with this program. Visit MilwaukeeWeightLoss.com now to schedule your free consultation.
Hey, WTMJ, Steve Scafidi here. I took advantage of the Milwaukee Weight Loss program, lost 45 pounds this year. You can take advantage of the lowest prices of the year with $300 off. But hurry, sale ends on December 26th. Many patients lose 20 to 30 pounds in about a month or two. Call for your free consultation, 262-449-1180. That's 262-449-1180 or MilwaukeeWeightLoss.com. That's MilwaukeeWeightLoss.com.
Are the changing seasons making you crave a getaway? Let Fox World Travel help you plan the perfect all-inclusive resort or cruise vacation to escape the cold. We've got special deals with Apple Vacations, Delta Vacations, Princess Cruises, Celebrity Cruises, and more. Whether you book online or with a travel advisor, Fox World Travel has your back. Visit foxworldtravel.com or call 866-GO-FOX-GO today.
Blaine's Farm and Fleet's huge gift sale is going on now, and that means unbeatable value on unique gifts for all the originals on your list. Like 40% off heated throws, $29.99 while supplies last. 30% off a 9-gallon Craftsman wet dry vac, $69.99. A 26-piece performance tool color-coded screwdriver set with rack, half price. Plus, shop a wide range of gift cards, which are always perfect gifts. Knock out your holiday shopping for less during our huge gift sale only at Blaine's Farm and Fleet. Be an original.
What's on Tap with Sandy Max is back on WTMJ.
And welcome back. I'm Libby Collins, and Sandy's at the Kids to Kids Trivia Showdown. Our guest this hour is Michael Trickline, who's the co-producer, along with Steve Betcher, of Dick Van Dyke's 100th celebration. It is going to be in theaters this weekend only. So he's still on the Dick Van Dyke Show. Did that end because he wanted it to end? Who made the decision to cancel that show?
You know, it's an interesting question, and it was a similar question I had with Mary Tyler Moore about why her show ended, and neither one of them gave very good answers. I think there was this feeling at that time that in television, if you got 5 seasons done, that was enough episodes. It could go into syndication, and the producers could make their money. And that's all they really needed was 5 seasons. And so I think they kind of felt like, well, and in fact, where Dick Van Dyke said at one point, well, then we'd have to go to color, and that would be a whole thing. And, and it's just kind of funny how nowadays we don't think of television as kind of a launching pad, because they both, all the people on that show thought, oh, this show's done well, now we can all do movies, and that's what you really want. Whereas nowadays it's different. You do a great TV show, you just keep doing more TV shows, right? And movies are almost second class compared to TV sometimes. So I think it was a different time when you just wanted to get enough TV in to make your money, and then you moved on to something bigger.
Plus he had Mary Poppins.
Right.
And that was a huge movie back then.
Right. It was again, that also was the next step for him, and obviously the role he was born for, and he loved doing that film, and it's still a classic that people want to watch every year.
Yeah, but he was criticized for something.
Yes, he was. Libby, you're getting to all the dirt. No, I'm just kidding. He had a voice coach who gave him an accent that he thought was the right accent, and no one on set, it's the director's job to tell you if you should do something different, and no one told him to do anything different. And so when the film came out, he won accolades and awards for his singing and dancing, but people who were British of origin did not like his accent. And
his Cockney accent.
I won't try to do it here, but let's just say it was a little bit over the top. You know how when people do Wisconsin accents over the top, and we'll go, that's not what we talk like? Well, they were doing a lot of that for him, yeah.
But the interesting thing about that is it wasn't held against him, because he was offered a huge role that was a British icon.
Right. The story goes he was offered the role of James Bond, right?
Did that really happen?
He says it did. I mean, I don't have printed documentary evidence, but it's not impossible if you think about that time who they were putting in the role of James Bond,
And this was to replace Sean Connery.
Right, that was the right time frame. Yeah, and you had George Lazenby was in there at one point. I mean, you had
one movie
only,
yeah.
right? Yeah, and I think to have an American they thought might help the franchise. I mean, a lot of times people are talked about for roles. I mean, and maybe they weren't really in the role, but yeah, he would have. He certainly could be suave and debonair, and he would have brought up kind of a fun angle to the role. But that did not work out. And in fact, his famous quote about that is, I said I would only do it if I didn't have to do an accent.
All right, so his film career did okay. I mean, he had some decent films, but he never really made it to John Wayne status.
Right. Well, you want to know why that is? I have a theory about this. And one of the things about Dick Van Dyke that people don't know, and we really try to kind of get to this in the film, is that he's a person of character. And he very intentionally turned down roles that he thought were too risque, that he thought would be R-rated. So he always...
What did he turn down?
I don't have any specific examples,
Okay.
but if you look at his pantheon of work, it's always sort of family films, right? I mean, at that time, he's attending a Presbyterian church. He's very interested in, raising his children. He's just not the kind of guy who wanted to do the edgy material. Now, there are some exceptions. He did drama, but he just didn't do things that he thought were in poor taste. So, he one of his great dramas was a film called The Comic, where he played kind of a comedian, sort of a Stan Laurel, Buster Keaton type who goes through life and becomes narcissistic and then eventually becomes, living on his own, eating TV dinners. And he's won accolades for that, a very dramatic role and a very accurate role. But he mostly stuck with the comedy and sort of the family-friendly type of thing, and that was intentional.
You mentioned the movie The Comic, which, again, is kind of a dark film.
Right.
Dick Van Dyke, as much as he was beloved and still is, and people think of him as being so wholesome, also had his demons.
Also had his what?
Demons.
Right. He did. And our film, we really want to celebrate his 100th. So we want to talk about all the fun things. You want to see all the fun clips. We interviewed all of his friends. So Mary Tyler Moore is in the film, and Betty White, and Tim Conway, even Rosemary and Maury Amsterdam. We interviewed them before they passed. So we want to make a fun film. It is true. He battled alcoholism, and he's been very open about that. He went through a divorce that he says he felt guilt over. One thing I did ask him about was kind of funny, because when you watch the Dick Van Dyke Show in the 60s, they actually did commercials for cigarettes. And he smoked for a long time, and I asked him about that, and he said, "Yeah, I should not have done that." He and Mary Tyler Moore, there's a spot where they're both like smoking and going, whatever, the cigarette is fantastic, and he's like, "Why did I do that? That was terrible." So, I mean, even then, he realized he was trying to not just have a all-American character, but he actually was a person of character and wanted his films and his work to reflect that.
They tried to bring it back at one point. Was it like in the early 2000s? They did the Dick Van Dyke Show Revisited. They had all the original cast.
Right. Yeah, that was a fun show to watch if you watch the Dick Van Dyke Show. The critics hated it because they kind of wanted to, leave well enough alone. Do you paint, the new Mona Lisa, or you just leave the Mona Lisa alone, kind of a thing? But before that, I think that he did another special with Mary Tyler Moore when she could not get a job. So after the Dick Van Dyke Show, she was going nowhere. And he said, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take you, Mary, and we're going to do a special. I think it was on CBS. And we have footage of that in the film. And it's really interesting because at that time, no one thought a woman could carry a sitcom, as hard as that is to believe, or that Mary Tyler Moore really had the wherewithal to really, be the lead in the sitcom. And he kind of invented this special, and he gave her all these great opportunities. And because of that, then CBS gave her the Mary Tyler Moore Show, which, of course, is a classic. So we have to thank Dick Van Dyke for the Mary Tyler Moore Show, and really the first independent single woman on television.
We know what you're thinking, and all we can tell you is to drive careful.
Yep, Wisconsin roads are no joke this time of year, especially when you're driving on old, worn-out tires.
Schedule yourself a tire appointment with Rich Lawns. We carry all sorts of tire brands, including Goodyear, Kelly, Continental, and General, to name a few.
And every tire we install automatically comes with free tire mounting, free lifetime tire rotation, free flat tire repairs, and free alignment inspections.
Not to mention free wheel corrosion cleaning, lifetime warranty spin balance, and prorated tire protection.
Let's just say if you're driving around town, especially this time of year on old, worn-out tires, you're due for tire service.
Courtney's right. And remember, be safe, buckle up, and hey, always make sure you have good tread on your tires, because cold, wet, icy roads are no joke. I'm Brett Matchke with Rich Lawns, and you're due for service.
Rich Lawns Tire and Service, such a refreshing change. Rich Lawns.
Save big on everything for your next project now at Menards. Upgrade your bathroom today with our great selection of bath fans. Browen's Roomside series provides powerful ventilation with a quiet performance. They're available in a white or matte black finish. Get a Browen Roomside series bath fan today. On sale for $139.99. Good through December 14th. View our entire selection of Brown bath fans on Menards.com. Plus, check out our weekly flyer for other great deals happening this week.
Warm season's greetings to you all from Menards.
No matter how many people are in your family, buying new jackets for the cold weather months can be expensive. But when you shop St. Vincent de Paul thrift stores, prices on cold weather jackets will give you a sigh of relief, because thrift store prices mean great deals. And right now we have a great selection. Find great deals on cold weather jackets for the family at St. Vincent de Paul thrift stores on Highway 100 in Layton and Greenfield, 23rd in Lincoln, and 76th and Bradley Road in Milwaukee.
You're gonna love it, St. Vincent de Paul.
Staying active, essential for overall health. Proper medical support, essential for staying active. WTMJ's Vince Vitrano for Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin. Whether it's keeping a weekend warrior like me on the tennis court or keeping young athletes in the game, you want the best in sports medicine, that's OAW. Surgeons, nurses, and physical therapists help you recover from injury, avoid injury in the future, and enhance performance. Get care 7 days a week. Walk right in at an Ortho ASAP clinic or book an appointment online at orthowisconsin.com.
This message reaches 1 million people or more every week. Spreading the gospel is more than one voice speaking to 1 million. It is and must continue to be 1 million voices, each speaking to one, pointing them to our friend Jesus.
The Lutheran Hour with Dr. Michael Ziegler.
The Lutheran Hour, Sunday mornings at 6:30 on WTMJ.
Welcome back to What's on Tap on WTMJ.
It's 7:46, and we are back with Michael Trickline. He is one of the co-producers of the documentary Dick Van Dyke's 100th Celebration, and it's in theaters only this weekend, December 13th and 14th. What was the most rewarding thing of doing this film about Dick Van Dyke?
I think a lot of people don't really realize the versatility of his talent. I think when I walked in today and I met the woman at the desk, and she said, "Oh, I've heard of him." And I think a lot of people...
Wait, she heard of him?
She'd heard of him.
We got to get some older receptionists.
Right, yeah. No, I don't blame him. If you're young, that may be your situation. And you maybe now he's going to be 100, and that's obviously an interesting thing. So I think anytime someone reaches 100, that's going to be interesting, right, for everybody. Like, how do they get there? How are they doing? Are they okay? What's the secret, right? But the other thing is, I think, just to showcase, and we do this quite a lot in the film, is to showcase some of the talent that maybe you don't know about. Like for example, we found these old clips when he was performing on a show called The Pat Boone Show, where he's basically, I swear, if you look at it, he is doing the moonwalk 20 years before Michael Jackson ever did it. It's this exact same thing. And it's like he doesn't get credit for that. But I mean, that's the kind of stuff that we try to find these clips in the film that just show you his incredible versatility, from amazing dance moves. There's stuff from Chitty Chitty Bang Bang where you're like, did they use wires or not use wires? And I mean, it's so amazing what he can do with his body. And then also sort of the dramatic range that he has, and just all the people that he worked with can finally kind of come together. And it's designed for fans all to come together with all of his friends, his celebrity friends, and just kind of celebrate that 100th and really see the full range of what he can do, not just the black and white Dick Van Dyke Show or not just Mary Poppins.
You spent a lot of years putting this all together. Was the goal all along that you'd release it at a particular time, or did it just sort of keep creeping up as you were doing it, that he was getting close to his 100th birthday, and boy, this would be something to really celebrate?
Right. Yeah, I mean, we started, 25 years ago, so we weren't quite thinking about his 100th at that time. But I think both Steve Betcher and I were looking to the future. So when we interviewed people who had worked with him, we made sure we chatted with them about him to make sure we got these interviews. So like we interviewed Rosemary and Maury Amsterdam, before they passed, and got their take on this in a way that they hadn't been interviewed for a long time. And so we had been it's in the back of your mind for a long time planning, well, let's hope we can do this. Let's hope we have an opportunity for it. And we finally did have an opportunity. And we thought maybe his 90th, and then it just his 100th seemed perfect. So that's what we're doing.
And you spent time with him here in the last couple of years?
Yeah, well, that's interesting. So we interviewed him a few years ago in depth. I chatted with him for a couple of hours. But more recently, we took him to Danville, his hometown, and we walked through the house where he grew up, right? And we walked through went to the high school where he first performed, and we went to the radio station where he first got started. And we have some of those clips of his first as a 17-year-old on the radio, talking and doing his first bits. And so we went with him and his wife, and the kids at the high school did all kinds of performances for him of some of his greatest hits. So they're all doing, Chitty Chitty Bang Bang songs and Mary Poppins songs, and he's just eating it up. And he's just, he goes through his house, and this is the room where, my brother Jerry and I would, do this, or this is where his dad's name was Cookie. Well, that was his nickname because he sold cookies, and he was a cut-up in Danville. And so the Van Dyke family was well known, even if they had never gone to Hollywood. They would have been famous in Danville. So everybody had a story about, Dick Van Dyke or his brother or his dad, and so we kind of all put that together. And so Danville's a big part of the story and a lot of fun.
Coming up, we have more with Michael Trinkline. He's based here in Milwaukee, and he and his co-producer, Steve Betcher, they've been the brains not behind just the 100th celebration of Dick Van Dyke, but also pioneers in television. They did the Betty White celebration that was huge a few years ago, as well as Robin Williams remembered, and he also mentioned that I think it's still on Peacock right now, Gary, about actor Gary Coleman. We're going to have more with Michael right after this on What's on Tap on WTMJ.
Point taken with Scafidi and Bry.
We talk about information, but we are not the first-hand report of the information. And so do you feel that we are part of the problem?
We're trying to do something that says, here's the stories that people are talking about. Here's how they touch us in our lives. We're not part of the problem if we stay on course. But if we become like all the other degenerates, I use the word on purpose.
To rile up the base?
To rile up the base. Everyone's like nodding their heads in their cars. Like, what are you doing?
Weekdays from 10 to noon on WTMJ.
Dad, we can't ever change. Amen to that, son. And I'll tell you what, we'd have a lot of people to answer to if we did. The fact that things have remained the same at Marty's going back all the way to 1957 is what makes it so special. And it starts with a recipe for our sauce. It's the original, the same one that Marty taught me. It was there on day one, and it's still here today. And it's never going away. James, you stick with that attitude, and Marty's will be around for your kids to keep up their tradition. And there are other things that make Marty's Pizza special. Well, you got our untouched original recipe for our pizza sauce, and we have our own sausage made for us with our own recipe. We make everything fresh. Our own meatballs, our lasagna, our dough every day. We cut our vegetables fresh every day. It's a labor of love. This is Dick the Dad. And James the Son from Marty's Pizza in Delafield. Find out what keeps our loyal customers coming back for generations. Right off I-94 and Highway 83 in Delafield.
So how is that possible? 1.9% real estate commission? There must be something you're not telling me.
I hear that a lot. The truth is, everybody could do it, but they choose not to because folks keep paying more than they have to. I guess they just haven't heard yet that Century 21 Benefit Realty can make that 1.9% real estate commission promise on the sale of your home and stick to it. So I'd like to think that's going to make your decision easy. This is Angela Calais with Century 21 Benefit Realty, benefit-realty.com, where you pay less for full service. Each office is independently owned and operated. You only get one chance to make a first impression, and that goes double for your home listing, because that's how you're going to get the most value. By having a customized marketing plan specific to your property with professional photos, global marketing, and the built-in experience that Century 21 Benefit Realty has brought to the table since 2004. And being joined with Century 21 just makes all of the above stand out that much more. This is Angela Calais with Century 21 Benefit Realty, benefit-realty.com, where you pay less for full service. Each office is independently owned and operated.
Score the top gifts for the Brewers fan in your life this holiday season. Set them up for an epic 2026 season with the all-new Brewers Holiday Bundle, featuring 4 ticket vouchers, loaded value concession credits, and an exclusive Brewers Holiday ornament, starting at just $99. Finish shopping for even the youngest Brewers fans with the 2026 Kids Crew Kit, including one-of-a-kind Brewers merch, 6 ticket vouchers, a ballpark tour, and more, all for just $35. Grab every Brewers Holiday gift today at brewers.com.
You're listening to What's on Tap with Sandy Max on WTMJ.
And welcome back. I'm Libby Collins in for Sandy, and we are talking with Michael Trickline, who's the co-producer of Dick Van Dyke's 100th celebration. How sharp was he? I mean, approaching 100 years old. Not everybody makes it. Did he act like he was close to 100 years old? Or, I mean, did you notice, boy, he's not the same guy he would have been 20 years ago. How sharp is he?
You know, it's a question I can speak to because, you know, right now I have 2 aging parents who are approaching 90 and they're doing very well. I have to say that. But I'm very cognizant of what should you look for, right? And I think physically, mentally, he's actually really sharp. He did a video just recently with Chris Martin, and that was, you know, that kind of showcased what he could do. He's still doing, you know, bits once in a while on YouTube, etc. Yeah, he's very sharp. Physically, he's also good, but, you know, when you're 100, you're not good for 18 hours a day. You're good for 2 or 3 hours a day, and you get tired after a period of time. But I think for a person who's 100, I mean, literally 2 years ago, he's dancing. In fact, you know, when they did Mary Poppins Returns a few years ago, he had to do a scene on top of a table, and he jumped up on the table at like his late 90s, right? So yeah, he's surprisingly good condition, and it's kind of an inspiration for everybody. And I think if you asked him why, like what's his secret, that's obviously the next question. What makes him do so well at this advanced age? Obviously, genetics is part of it, but I think a big part of it is the fact that he just has a super positive outlook on life. You know, he engages people as much as he can, and every time you meet him, he wants to entertain you. You know, he isn't asking you, you know, to do something for him. He wants to dance for you, or he wants to tell you a joke, or he really relishes that human connection. And I think that's definitely a key to old age.
Has he seen the film?
Yes, he has.
What do you think?
Oh, he liked it. He liked it a lot. I think the fact that we're making a film that kind of celebrates his life, you know, and we're making a film that makes you walk out of the theater and feel good, right? I mean, that's the goal of it. And so I think that's his brand is our brand in the making of this film. We're not making a dark movie, or we're not making a tell-all movie. We're making a movie that kind of celebrates a career, and that's a career that he's very proud of.
And the interesting thing about this movie, which, by the way, is going to be only in theaters this Saturday and Sunday, the 13th and 14th, and the 13th is his 100th birthday.
The 13th is his 100th. And I know what people are thinking, well, I'd like to see this, but I don't want to go out to a theater. We do have some matinees, so it is also in the afternoon. If you don't want to go out at night and you go in the afternoon, you can still see it.
But is it going to be streamed later, or is it going to come out on DVD? That's what a lot of people are probably wondering.
Yeah, I wish. No, we have no plans to bring it out in any other format. It's kind of now or never. You know, he only turns 100 once, so this is the time to celebrate the 100th. You wouldn't go to your grandmother's 100th birthday 4 years later. You got to go when it happens.
I have to ask you, because Chris, just last week we had Hugh Jackman all over town for his movie. Right. Any chance that Dick Van Dyke might come to Milwaukee?
Well, it's funny you said I'm sure he would like to, and he would like to go back to Danville. But I think when you're 100, your traveling is minimal, and so he's not traveling a lot. But I think he would probably like to.
And that was Michael Trickline. He's the co-producer of Dick Van Dyke's 100th celebration. It's in theaters only this Saturday and Sunday, December 13th and 14th. If you're a fan of Dick Van Dyke, you will love it. We've already got some texts coming in on the Signing Unlimited talk and text line from fans who have gotten their tickets already. And yes, in fact, they are going to the matinee. Somebody said they've got tickets for Saturday at 4. So, yeah, you don't have to go out in the dark. Coming up here after the news, we're going to talk about some local theaters. There's a new one. If you've been driving down Blue Mound Road, you may have seen Bombshell Theater. And it's new, and they are doing their first show, Holiday Inn. We're going to talk to them about that. And then also, right after the news, it has become a tradition here in Milwaukee, and that's the Golden Girls Drag Show. Just in time for the holidays. We've got some cast members coming up on What's on Tap right after this on WTMJ.
WTMJ, W277CV, and WKTI HD2 Milwaukee from the Annex Wealth Management Studios. This is News Radio WTMJ, a Good Karma brand station.
Without an Advent clinic nearby, people suffering needlessly from chronic nasal congestion and sinus infections would be stuck with either Band-Aid or sledgehammer solutions. Band-Aids are pills or nasal sprays, and they're not true solutions. Surgery is a sledgehammer, and that's what we're trying to avoid. Because most people don't need surgery for nose and sinus issues, nor do they want a 14-day recovery. Our unique Advent approach can, in 20 minutes in our office, open your blocked nose for good, with only 1-day recovery. I'm Advent founder Dr. Kandula. Outside of Advent's 4 walls, invasive surgery is what they'll recommend. But here you will find effective and convenient in-office solutions to help you stop the need for Band-Aids and avoid the sledgehammer.
Go to adventknows.com to schedule your appointment, because Advent knows when you breathe well, you live better. AdventKnows.com. Most insurance accepted.
When snowstorms hit and the roads turn slick.
These slick roads are pretty brutal.
When school closings start rolling in and traffic slows to a crawl.
The snowfall closing schools in Kenosha.
We've got the latest updates on forecasts and everything else you need to know during severe winter weather. Find Fleet Farm Storm Team alerts on air and online at WTMJ.com or on the WTMJ mobile app. Stay safe. Stay informed with WTMJ.
This winter, treat yourself or someone you love to a getaway right here in Milwaukee. Milwaukee Hotel Month is coming with up to 25% off stays from January 14th through February 28th. From cozy boutique hideaways to modern downtown favorites, you'll find the perfect place for any kind of getaway. Enjoy world-class theater, inspiring museums, and award-winning dining, all paired with a warm, welcoming place to unwind after a full day of exploring the Brew City. Check in, chill out, and make winter feel a world away at visitmilwaukee.org/hotel month.
Give the gift of a special night out from the Bartolotta Restaurants. Purchase a gift card at bartolottas.com and get a $20 holiday bonus for every $100 you spend. Happy holidays from all of us at the Bartolotta Restaurants, and thank you, Milwaukee.
Holiday gifts are wrapped and ready at Merle Norman. Check off your gift list with an age-defying duo featuring clinically proven skincare products, a powerful head-to-toe smoothing skin duo with retinol, and a Wicked Lash mascara duo featuring our award-winning formula. Holiday sets are a great value with savings of up to 35%. Hurry and shop while supplies last at Merle Norman Cosmetics Salon and Spa at Brookfield Square. Free with the purchase of 2 or more Merle Norman cosmetic products. Cosmetic accessories not included. Offer valid while supplies last. Participating Merle Norman Cosmetic Studios only. Limit 1 per customer. We reserve the right to modify the gift if needed. Promotion not available at merlenorman.com.
Trusted, relevant, locally owned, locally programmed. We are Wisconsin's radio station. News Radio 620, WTMJ Milwaukee.
At 9 o'clock, it is currently 21 degrees. Tonight, we'll see clouds decrease overnight, and we'll be cold with a low of 9. From the WTMJ Breaking News Center, I'm Sean Brinda. The U.S. has posted the video of the oil tanker seizure off the coast of Venezuela. News Nation's Connell McShane says the video was posted to social media by Attorney General Pam Bondi.
The AG says the Federal Bureau of Investigation, Homeland Security Investigations, United States Coast Guard, they all executed a seizure warrant for this crude oil tanker that they say was used to transport sanctioned oil from Venezuela. and Iran. And she goes on to say in her post that they did it with the support of the Department of War. For multiple years, Bondi says, the oil tanker has been sanctioned by the United States due to its involvement in illicit oil shipping networks.
Bondi alleges those networks are supporting foreign and terrorist organizations. Jury selection in the federal trial of Milwaukee County Judge Hannah Dugan begins Thursday. Dugan is charged with obstruction and helping migrant Eduardo Flores Ruiz avoid ICE custody back in April. Prosecution and defense attorneys will start with a pool of around 90 candidates before narrowing down to a 12-person jury. Potential jurors will be asked questions about the case, their news habits, and their political views. Both sides say finding an impartial jury will be a challenge. Jury selection continues on Friday, and Dugan's trial is set to begin next Monday. The Federal Reserve cut its key interest rate today, bringing it down to another quarter point to around 3.6%. It was the third and final rate cut this year. President Trump touched on the economy and affordability at a rally in Pennsylvania Tuesday night. The president veered off topic, railing against migrants and his political foes. CBS News analyst Robert Costa has been talking to sources on Capitol Hill.
Many lawmakers are on edge about their seats, but it's so evident when I talk to them behind the scenes that they have this fear of angering the president. It's so real. Based on my conversations with Trump sources, they say the president is keeping close watch of those he believes are, quote, weak and unable to handle the pressure of the midterms and the turbulence in the economy, especially on trade.
Trump also continues to criticize Federal Reserve Chairman Jerome Powell, saying the rate cut should have been bigger. A proposed $12 billion aid package from the White House could help American farmers offset ongoing tariff costs. But Karen Geffert with Voice of Milk tells Wisconsin's Midday News dairy farmers are looking for new ways to earn more money.
Our dairy farmers have been using a beef on dairy type strategy where they're breeding their dairy cows to beef bulls. And so those offspring have a really high dollar value because beef is at a really good price right now.
Geffert says selling these calves help farmers financially as milk prices remain low. Sports, traffic, weather, and next. Outdoor Living Unlimited. WTMJ News Time is 8:04.
Are you hosting this holiday season or family staying at the house? Let's get things tightened up or even improved with a timely project from my team at Horner Plumbing. Vince Vitrano here. These are the folks in my contacts list under plumber. Let's get Horner out to the house. Get you a free quote on that project that you've been thinking about, talking about, pushing off, upfront pricing, and an honest assessment from Horner. So you know the project will fit your budget and your timeline. Just heard from Erin over there at Horner, and she tells me they do have room on the schedule for most projects in time for your holiday guests. So whether that's getting the leaky shower or sink fixed for folks who are going to be staying at the home, or a major project so you can accommodate them, my team at Horner is ready to go. With the holidays fast approaching, now's the perfect time to schedule your free quote. Let Horner Plumbing help you get those home projects wrapped up before the season begins. $50 off your first service when you tell them Vinny sent you. Horner Plumbing. Find them online at hornerplumbing.com.
$1 doesn't buy much unless you're spending it at Griffin. For just $1 over cost, you can buy brand new tires from us. This is Jim Griffin. Any major brand, $1 over our cost with free tire repair and lifetime rotation. We'll even show you the invoice to prove it. Our only requirements, we put them on for you. Buy one or the whole set. The dollar deal from Griffin. Milwaukee and Waukesha. Griffin. The buck stops here, but the deals on tires don't. That's Griffin.
Not combinable with other tire offers.
Blain's Farm and Fleet's huge gift sale is going on now, and that means unbeatable value on unique gifts for all the originals on your list. Like 30% off men's work and sport Cambridge flannels, over 40% off a 256-piece Craftsman mechanics tool set, now $99.99. Plus, select bags of Blain's brand nut and fruit, nut and cherry, or no-waste nut and fruit birdseed, your choice, $21.99. Knock out your holiday shopping for less during our huge gift sale only at Blain's Farm and Fleet. Be an original.
Time for a WTMJ Sports Update from the Gruber Law Office's One Call, That's All Sports Desk. Two of the top teams in the NFL will battle in Denver this Sunday. The Packers sitting in first place in the NFC North, and the Broncos atop the AFC West. Sunday's game is called for a 3:25 kickoff. Green Bay is currently 2.5-point favorites. Baseball's winter meetings are underway from Orlando. Multiple reports indicate Brewers pitcher Freddie Peralta is drawing interest from teams around the league. Manager Pat Murphy.
I watched some of these contracts out there, and he's due to be a wealthy man, have a lot of acreage if he wants it. Maybe beachfront acreage wherever he wants it in multiple islands.
Peralta is under contract for next season. Wisconsin men's basketball takes the floor tonight in Lincoln, Nebraska to face the 23rd ranked Cornhuskers. That's an 8 p.m. tip-off. Badger Sports Updates are sponsored by Siding Unlimited, siding, and a whole lot more. Take a look at your roads with your WTMJ Time Saver Traffic. Got a couple of incidents out on the road. I-794 west of the ramp from Jackson Street. The right shoulder is blocked due to a disabled vehicle. Then over on the ramp from I-41 894 south to I-43 south, the left shoulder is blocked due to a crash. Then over on I-94 east at County Road Double S, the left shoulder is blocked due to a disabled vehicle. Other than that, roads looking pretty clear across southeast Wisconsin. All right, time for your WTMJ forecast. Thursday will be mostly sunny with a high of 20. Friday, we'll get a chance of snow with a high of 26. Saturday, we'll get a chance of flurries. It will be very cold with wind chills reaching 10 below zero with a high of 9. Sunday will be mostly sunny, very cold with a wind chill of 20 below zero and a high of 9. And Monday will be partly cloudy with a high of 14. Right now in Madison, it is currently 22. In Green Bay, it's 17. Out in Waukesha, it's 20. And right here in Milwaukee, it's currently 22 degrees. I'm Sean Brenda. Outdoor Living Unlimited WTMJ News Time is 8:08.
Your need-to-know cultural snapshot of Wisconsin and beyond. This is What's on Tap with Sandy Max, sponsored by Visit Milwaukee, a deep dive into all things intriguing, riveting, and entertaining. Now, here's your host, Sandy Max.
And What's on Tap is sponsored by Visit Milwaukee. Handcrafted, homegrown, world-class. Discover more at visitmilwaukee.org. I'm Libby Collins in for Sandy Max, and it's at holiday time. So what does that mean? It's the annual Golden Girls Holiday Drag Parody Show at La Cage, and joining us from the cast, we've got Marcy Doherty. She plays Sophia. We have Lee Rajiski playing Blanche, and Brian Quinn, who plays Stan. And welcome.
Thank you. We're so excited to be here, Libby.
Let me turn to Marcy first, because how many years now has this show been going on?
So this has been going on for 9 years. So actually, next year will be our 10th year anniversary. So it's very exciting. It is an original play written by a local playwright, and every year it's a new show. So a lot of people think, oh, I saw it last year. Nope. Every year it's a brand new show. So we have been doing this for 9 years.
And how many years have you been playing Sophia?
6.
So
6 years, yes. I've been 6 years now. Lee has been playing Blanche all 9 years. So he's one of the OG. He's one of the original Golden Girls.
Well, wait a minute.
The long-standing.
Well, this is what gets me. And you can't see Lee. Lee is about 6 feet 5 inches tall. And when I first met you, Lee, I thought, for sure, you play Dorothy.
No.
Who is the B. Arthur character.
Correct.
But no. You play Blanche, little teeny tiny.
That's right, petite and southern Blanche.
How did you get cast, your height?
When we first did the first year, we did a table read of each of the characters, and we passed the scripts around. So I read Dorothy, then I read Rose, then I read Blanche, then I read Sophia. And whatever the director thought we fit character-wise is the character we were given. So I've just been Blanche for 9 years.
Well,
loving it.
I want to get into that a little bit more, but we do have to introduce Brian Quinn as well, because you've been Stan for how many years?
Yeah, this is my 3rd year as Stan.
And how did you end up getting cast? And let's remind everybody who Stan is in the Golden Girls.
Stan's Bornak, that's Dorothy's ex-husband, the one who trailed her down to Florida and just shows up to get the door slammed in his face and be his wonderful idiot self. It's great, right?
And how did you get cast?
Well, I was available. There was a year where we needed a Stan, and it was thanks to Noah and Marcy that my name got brought up, and I had not heard of it before. I showed up, and I've been having a great time every time I've been back.
Yeah, he actually does owe the gig to me because I actually recommended him.
No, that's true. I'll grant that.
So I get my, 5%, 10% manager
Yeah, we'll
fee?
discuss that one off air.
Well, Lee, you've been with it all 9 years, so you were there at the very beginning.
Yes.
What was the energy like when they said, let's do this show?
Well, I think we were excited because everybody loves the Golden Girls. We weren't sure what exactly, if it was going to go over or not. And the first year we did piece together a show and we did have an audience and it has sold out almost every year since. And it just has been an evolution of excitement. Everyone loves the Golden Girls and it just really has gone over well in Milwaukee.
How has it changed for you, playing that same character for 9 years?
Well, it's grown. We've switched venues, so physically it's changed, but it's also grown writers. We've had an original writer who is our producer, and then we have the local playwright, Anthony Torti, who has written for us the last
7 years.
The last 7 years.
Yeah, our executive producer of Purse String Productions, it was really his dream to start. He's a huge Golden Girls fan. So he really wanted to just say, what if we did a drag parody of the Golden Girls? This would be so fun. So the first 2 years he wrote it. And the first year they did it, it was only one weekend. There were only 4 performances scheduled, and it sold out so quickly that they quickly added 2 more. But now over the years, we look and we're running for weeks at a time. We've got 5-6 shows a week. We also perform at other venues. So private companies hire us out to do performances. This year we'll be in Southwest Chicago for a weekend. We've already sold out the 8 p.m. show there. And with 600 seats, they've added a 2 p.m. matinee. So we've been all over. We've been at Hamburger Mary's, La Cage, St. John's on the Lake, Club 5 in Madison, the Racine Theater Guild, Waukesha Civic Theater, UW Parkside, Pyramid in Lake Mills. So we've been touring all over. So it's grown just in terms of where we perform, the number of performances, the audiences we reach.
And that is just a testament to how much everybody loves the Golden Girls. But the question I have is, why in drag?
Why in drag? Well, Purse String Productions is a very proudly owned and operated LGBTQIA plus company. And the idea really was to create a safe space to express the love of the Golden Girls and the art. And the founder really just wanted to bring this into the drag community, drag as a performance art and as a way. And the original home being Hamburger Mary's really lent itself to doing it in a drag parody performance. And there are other groups in the U.S. that do drag parodies of the Golden Girls. So there is sort of a precedent for it.
How do you approach your character, Lee? Because, again, you play sweet little old
Blanche. Well,
yeah,
she's not so sweet.
And you're 6'5", and you're doing this in heels, so you're close to 7 feet tall.
Right. Well, I do a little research. I watch a lot of the TV episodes.
And that was Rue McClanahan.
Rue McClanahan, yeah. So I watch her mannerisms and how she speaks and how she acts her different scenes throughout. And then I try to do my own version of what Blanche would. So it's not exactly Rue McClanahan playing Blanche Devereaux, but you come see the show, you definitely know I'm playing Blanche Devereaux.
How has your character changed in the 9 seasons you've been doing this?
Well, I suppose she's evolved to be a little more southern. Her wardrobe is definitely growing.
In what way?
Well, she has a whole closet to herself in my apartment.
We have collected a lot of
so you
costumes
have your own costumes then?
Yeah, we costume ourselves. Yes. And each year I think, well, Blanche would probably, if not one, probably have at least 2 outfits new each year. So my closet has expanded for Blanche. But
describe some of the outfits you bring in.
Sequins, shoulder pads.
Well, the 80s, yeah.
The 80s. Yeah, a lot of big jewelry, a lot of sparkle, a lot of bright color, pattern. There's a lot of pattern.
Well, Blanche is also the very beautiful, very seductive one. So Blanche's costumes tend to be a little more revealing than certainly Sophia. I'm always in a cardigan, Dorothy, and even Rose. So Blanche is the sexy Golden Girl.
We are talking with Marcy Doherty, Lee Rajeski, and Brian Quinn about the 9th annual Golden Girls Holiday Drag Parody Show going on at La Cage. We're going to have more with them and find out why everybody loves the Golden Girls right here on What's on Tap on WTMJ.
In 1964, we were making strides towards space travel.
Mary Poppins was the #1 movie in theaters.
And the Beatles were taking America by storm.
Which was long before I was born.
Facts. 1964 is also the year it all started for Richland's Tire and Service Centers. 60 years of continuous growth and more happy customers than you can shake a stick at.
Okay, the streamers are a bit overkill. It's just us in the studio.
All right. But it's important to know accomplishments like these aren't possible without a dedicated team. So hats off to them and our founder, my dad, Dick Mitchke, for understanding the importance of customer focus.
Facts. There's no 60 years of anything without you, the customer, which is why our focus will remain on you and only you for years to come.
Thank you from all of us here at Richland's Tire and Service Centers.
Richland's Tire and Service, such a refreshing change. Richland's.
Looking to earn your Wisconsin concealed carry license? Mission 94 Firearms Education Center has you covered. Choose from classroom-only sessions, live fire options, or women-only classes taught by female instructors, designed to build confidence and safety. Learn the right way with a team that puts education first. Find your perfect class today at mission94firearms.com. Click on the training tab or just Google Mission 94.
Your way inside the huddle.
Hut one, hut two.
Without putting on any pads. It's Green and Gold Insiders on Wisconsin's Afternoon News.
All in all, I think the accuracy is the biggest thing, but also just the leadership.
Try to live up to that standard week in and week out.
Every day of the regular season at 4:15, it's Green and Gold Insiders all season long, right here on WTMJ. Welcome back to What's on Tap on WTMJ.
Thank you for being a friend. Travel down the road and back again.
And welcome back to What's on Tap. I'm Libby Collins, in for Sandy Max, and we are joined by some of the cast members of the Golden Girls Holiday Drag Parody Show at La Cage. And I want to turn to Brian Quinn. You play Stan.
That's me.
How do you play Stan to get noticed with these really big characters of the four Golden Girls? How do you make yourself stand out?
Well, first off, Libby, you were mentioning how Lee is quite tall. I'm the short one on stage, and that's a real experience for me. But I do try to make myself stand out, even if not physically with that.
Well, you're 6'1". You're
I'm
not
6'1".
that. You're not that short.
This is the rare experience for me. I'm like, the first year I was on stage, I looked around and I'm like, I'm the short one here, and it's like I understand what everybody else goes through. But no, if for standing out as Stan, being the oaf that everybody gets to play against, you're the straight man to set up their jokes for it, and it can be somewhat of a thankless task because Stan is usually an idiot and usually a jerk. But I love doing it. I mean, it gives you a chance to be the guy that you never get to be otherwise.
Do you ever break up on stage?
I haven't yet. I did ruin Marcy the other night, came out in a costume for one of the other characters I'm playing. I hadn't shown it before, and I killed her on stage, and she died.
You broke me.
She
Yeah,
died.
you broke me.
It was one of my prouder moments. I don't try to do this, intentionally, but they happen with it. There have been moments with it. It was a ridiculous wig, I'll say that much. You all come out and see it.
Is there improv involved with this show? Does it change from night to night?
There's a little bit of improv if something goes awry on stage, or sometimes if a joke takes a moment to land, there'll be a little bit of improv. You know who's really famous for the improv skills in our group is Mark Hagan, who plays Dorothy, or Dear Ruthie, as most people know her. So Dear Ruthie plays Dorothy, and she is a comedy queen, iconic with the improv. So pretty typically, if Dorothy has a joke that maybe takes a second to catch on, she might throw out something like, that one takes a minute, and then it gets a big laugh. If a set piece falls over, last year we had a little phone stand tip over, and she just famously said, I don't think anyone noticed that. Let's keep going. So things like that. But otherwise, it is a script. We learn our lines. We're completely off book. It's scripted. We're only improving the things that might go awry, or if something funny happens in the audience, somebody's phone goes off, or the phone rings at the wrong time, then we say, Blanche, you really got to figure out what's going on with your phone bill or something like that there.
Well, Marcy, a lot of people know you. First of all, you have beautiful red hair.
Thank
you.
you
are a real ginger. And you've done a lot of things, including some TV commercials.
I have.
Yet you're playing Sophia, who is how old in the Golden Girls? I mean, she's an old lady.
Yeah, 83. I mean, it depends on what season you're talking about, but she's in her 80s.
Yeah, but I mean, how do you approach that? Because you are far from that. And
Well,
you're quite
thank you.
and you're quite glamorous too.
Oh, well, thank you. Well, like Lee was saying, we really do study the characters and watch the show a lot. And we have become, I think, experts in our own individual characters. So I do really try to honor and copy Sophia's way of speaking, her mannerisms, her way of walking. I nickname it the Sophia Shuffle. The unique thing about Sophia is she always has a prop on her purse. So she is...
I never noticed that, but you're right.
Either the purse is next to her in the kitchen while she's cooking, or she has it. And of course, when you talk to Estelle Getty about this, or when you've seen Estelle Getty be interviewed about this, or things in the Golden Girls lexicon, it's this idea that, remember, when you're old and where you live has burned down, where she was living before she moved in with Dorothy, all of your possessions become really important to you and you keep them with you at all times. So that was really the character reason why Estelle Getty kept Sophia's purse on her the entire time, is this symbolic thing of getting older and the things that you have, keeping them with you always. So that becomes a challenge.
I will never watch the Golden Girls the same way again.
Right. So your purse is always on her or right next to her. So I really approach it by studying the episodes. And we all are huge fans of the show, so we love watching it. But we watch it year-round. Year-round, if we're out in a Goodwill or out at a vintage shop, we see clothes, we're like, this will be perfect. We buy them for each other. Lee brought me a dress the other day that was like, this would be perfect for Sophia. We've been working together. I've been working with these girls for 6 years. And Dorothy is one of the other OGs. So Dear Ruthie's been with the show for 9 years. Mm-hmm. Brandon, who plays Rose, has been with the show for 7 years. So we've been working together for so long. We know each other so well. We trust each other. And we just play off each other in a really beautiful way.
And Lee, you also play under the name of Dita Von.
Mm-hmm.
Now, that's not in this show, but who is Dita Von?
Well, Dita Von is my drag persona. She's evolved over the last 20 years. I grew up in Manitowoc, and I started doing drag for a fundraiser event for the American Heart Association and Relay for Life. Looks like a lady walk around the track, and I would dress up for that. And it has since evolved to when I lived in Green Bay as a drag entertainer, to being a drag entertainer, being a show host, event host. I've done halftime for Bucks games. It's just, Dita Von is a beast.
Why do people love drag performers?
I think because as a drag artist, we can set our regular life and our persona that we are born into and set it aside and create this whole other facade and then put on this show. And I think it's the energy reciprocation. Say you come to a show and I put on a number or a performance and the rest of the girls do the same. You automatically are elevated from whatever you came in at a level, maybe a 3 or 4, dealing with this, that, and the other in the holidays and all this stress. But you kind of forget about all that. And it's the magic of drag.
We are here with the person who plays Blanche, known as Dita Von in your other performances, but your real name, Lee Rajeski. We've got Marcy Doherty, who plays Sophia, and Brian Quinn, the quiet,
yes, I am.
straight guy, playing Stan.
Yes,
and we'll have more, including why people love the Golden Girls after it's been on the air for more than 40 years. It's all ahead on What's on Tap on WT.
Visit family-owned Ken Michaels Furniture and our in-store design centers, where you'll still find beautiful, luxurious, heirloom-quality American-made furniture. Right now, save 30 to 35% store-wide and take advantage of our complimentary design services. Whether you're moving, renovating, or updating, our designers will help your vision become a reality. Visit Ken Michaels Furniture in Brookfield on Capitol Drive and in Greenfield on Highway 100 to save 30 to 35% store-wide today. Sleep better and save more with mattresses from Milwaukee Mattress and Ken Michaels Furniture. Handcrafted in our Milwaukee factory, our mattresses utilize natural materials like cotton cushioning, which dissipates body heat, Joma wool quilts for warm wintry nights and cool summer evenings, and natural latex providing superior conformability and pressure relief for aching joints. Stop in today at any Ken Michaels Furniture store and save up to 50% compared to national brands.
Handpicked and trained with a lot of heart. Quality techs work on all residential heating equipment. Ductless, hydronic, electric, or forced air. Advancements occur. All our techs are trained in and out of house to stay current with modern technology. Call Quality. Our techs will be well versed in what's new to make sure your new heating system is as advanced as you want it to be.
Call Quality for the signature service you deserve.
Call Quality. Heating, cooling, plumbing, and electric. Furnace on the fritz? Hopefully it doesn't happen. But if it does, call Quality for 24/7 fast emergency service. Because we have a huge service crew dedicated to servicing equipment first and replacing equipment only when necessary. We know older equipment, along with the newest in heating technology, and we won't be there to sell you something you don't need because we don't know how to work on it.
Call Quality for the signature service you deserve.
Call Heating, cooling, plumbing, and electric.
Hey, John Mercure here for Azura Memory Care and Assisted Living. It's kindness, it's compassion, it's very specialized training. Their mission is to transform the culture of care, and they're doing that every single day. I've been in their places. I've seen how they love and take care of people with cognitive decline, Alzheimer's, or other related dementia symptoms. In part at Azura, they do such a great job because their staff goes through specialized training. They're going to take great care of you. Locations throughout southeast Wisconsin, Wisconsin-based, family-owned. It's Azura.
Get inside the mind of Mark Tauscher.
It's Christmas. You just got a great present that you believe when you open it, you're going to win a championship.
See the world from his perspective.
I think the only real answer is they bungled it. And I think Dallas fans know that they bungled it.
On Wisconsin's Morning News, every day at 7:50.
We'll take your bungling, and we're going to be more than happy to grab that bungle, take it, and try to chase a championship with it.
Mark Tauscher, presented by Hello Windows and Doors of Wisconsin and Kohler Services. You're listening to What's on Tap with Sandy Max on WTMJ.
Thank you for being a friend. Travel down the road and back again.
And welcome back to What's on Tap. I'm Libby Collins in for Sandy Max, along with Marcy Doherty, Lee Rajeski, and Brian Quinn, all from the Golden Girls Holiday Drag Parody Show. It debuted on NBC, was it 1980 what? I mean, it's been over 40 years.
Yeah, they just had the 40-year anniversary special on ABC.
Why does this show hold up after 4 decades?
Well, it's the characters that hold up so well. Every year when it comes to be showtime, you start putting on a few more and watch them again, and it's like, it's been 40 years. It was the 80s. But they don't feel like they're stuck in the 80s. You can see things that are very clearly that, but their characters, Dorothy, Sophia, Blanche, and Rose, all of them have just such sharp individual personalities, plus the performers that they were, that it's just watchable.
Do any of you in real life know anyone who reminds you of any of the 4 Golden Girls? And if you did, would you tell me?
If I did, I absolutely would tell you. I think
That's a good question.
That is a good question.
That's a really good question.
I feel like because we've been working together so long, I associate Lee with Blanche, Mark with Dorothy, Brandon with Rose, myself with Sophia. But there is always that question, right? Which Golden Girl would you be? There's those online quizzes you can take. And I think I would be the Dorothy or the Sophia. Like, who is Marcy? Marcy's the Dorothy or the Sophia. But I love playing Sophia. She is the savage matriarch comeback queen.
All right. So what would you be, Brian, if you weren't Stan?
If I weren't Stan, which one of them? Oh, I've always thought that I'd probably be Rose.
Okay, you'd be Rose, the Betty White character.
Yeah, I mean, you can't beat that.
All right, so I got to ask Lee.
Yeah,
I said, I thought you were Dorothy, but no, you're Blanche. Of the 4, who do you most associate with?
I would say I do associate with Blanche quite heavily. We are separate in different ways, but I do think I also relate with Rose Nyland. She's from Minnesota. She's kind of flighty. She's kind of almost optimistic by default, and I just can relate to that.
Well, I know it's a great show. There's a lot more performances. How do we get tickets, Marcy?
So you can find them in many different places. You can go to Lacage's site. You can go to Purse String Productions site. The tickets are on a ticket platform called Ticket Leap. It is a dinner theater experience. So you can get tickets that include dinner and dessert. And of course, what's the Golden Girls without cheesecake at intermission? Come on. You get your choice of lasagna, a delicious pork chop, a chicken dish. It's a really nice dinner. So you have dinner before the show. Then you see Act 1, have your cheesecake at intermission, see Act 2, and then after the show, come on up and take pictures on the iconic stage with the Golden Girls. There are also, this year is our first year we're doing this, where we're doing show-only tickets. So if you don't want to do the meal or you don't have time to get there early enough for the meal, you can come and buy the tickets at the door and get show-only tickets. So that's kind of exciting.
Are there tickets available for all the remaining performances?
There are. There's one evening that I think has maybe 8 tickets left, but none of the nights are sold out yet. So get on those tickets now while you can. It will be your favorite holiday tradition. We have people that have been coming
better than
for
the
all...
Nutcracker?
Well, different than the Nutcracker. I don't want to say anything.
More jokes than the Nutcracker.
Yeah, more jokes than the Nutcracker, that's for sure.
Better wigs
You'll
than
laugh,
the Nutcracker.
you'll cry, and you'll get drag numbers. It's really a blend of the drama of a sitcom, the comedy of musical theater, and the high-energy performance of a drag show. So there's really nothing else like it here in Milwaukee. And people come year after year. We get families coming back, companies coming back, and people take their annual Christmas card pictures with us, which is really fun. So we've become a part of other people's holiday traditions, which is very special.
I love that. All right, so the last performance is going to be what date?
The last performance at La Cage is going to be Sunday, December 21st. But if you want to see it again or you can't make any of those dates, we are going to be on the south side of Chicago, January 30th, 31st, and February 1st, I think, possibly.
So you're going into the new year then?
We are going into the new year.
Speaking of the new year, you said this is the 9th anniversary. Next year is the 10th. Are you already planning something special for that 10-year anniversary?
They are. We know the playwright has been in talks already with the artistic director and the executive director of Purse String Productions to make the 10-year a really special celebration of 10 years here with the Milwaukee Golden Girls.
Marcy, Lee, Brian, thank you all for being here today. Can't wait to see Purse String Productions' annual Golden Girls Holiday Drag Parody Show. It's at La Cage through the 21st of this month. Thanks for being here.
Thank you for having us.
And thank you for being a friend.
Thank you for being a friend, Libby.
Stay golden.
Oh, it's going to be a chilly night. We're going to get down to 9 degrees. Then tomorrow, mostly sunny. 20 will be our high. Friday, we've got a chance of snow with temperatures around 26. And then it gets cold. Saturday and Sunday, we are looking at wind chills well below zero. 24 degrees is our temperature at 8:32 on WTMJ. And coming up next, we're going to hear about the Bombshell Theater and their new home in Brookfield.
Milwaukee Weight Loss is extending their huge holiday sale with $300 off now through December 26th with the lowest prices of the year on the result-getting Milwaukee Weight Loss program. We know the secret to losing up to 1 pound of fat every day with no exercising, no prepackaged meals, no counting points or calories, no drugs, no surgery, and no injections with the risk of serious side effects. You can start losing those unwanted pounds either before, during, or after the holidays. No more losing weight and gaining it back. You can keep the weight off for good with this program. Visit MilwaukeeWeightLoss.com now to schedule your free consultation.
Hey, WTMJ, Steve Scafidi here. I took advantage of the Milwaukee Weight Loss program, lost 45 pounds this year. You can take advantage of the lowest prices of the year with $300 off. But hurry, sale ends on December 26th. Many patients lose 20 to 30 pounds in about a month or two. Call for your free consultation, 262-449-1180. That's 262-449-1180 or MilwaukeeWeightLoss.com. That's MilwaukeeWeightLoss.com.
Score the top gifts for the Brewers fan in your life this holiday season. Set them up for an epic 2026 season with the all-new Brewers Holiday Bundle featuring 4 ticket vouchers, loaded value concession credits, and an exclusive Brewers Holiday ornament starting at just $99. Finish shopping for even the youngest Brewers fans with the 2026 Kids Crew Kit, including one-of-a-kind Brewers merch, 6 ticket vouchers, a ballpark tour, and more, all for just $35. Grab every Brewers Holiday gift today at Brewers.com.
Blaine's Farm and Fleet's huge gift sale is going on now, and that means unbeatable value on unique gifts for all the originals on your list. Like over 60% off select men's Skechers slip-ins, $29.99 while supplies last. Get $30 in Carhartt bucks for every $125 you spend on Carhartt gear. Plus, don't miss up to $100 in Ariat holiday rebates when you buy Ariat footwear, apparel, and accessories. See store for details. Knock out your holiday shopping for less during our huge gift sale only at Blaine's Farm and Fleet. Be an original.
You work hard, you probably play hard, and you deserve to feel like your best you. That's where Mend Massage comes in. I'm a customer of Mend Massage, and they just absolutely get it. You can find them at mendstudio.com. Multiple locations, 11 types of massage therapy. They go above and beyond, taking care of employees. They customize everything. It's Mend Massage. When I'm there, I'm comfortable, and I know it's long-term wellness. That's their goal. Each session is 60 minutes. They book you for 60, you get 60. I trust them. mendstudio.com.
Education changes everything. It opens doors, shapes futures, and builds the foundation for our children's success. At City Ford Collective, we're working to transform our city's schools and ensure every Milwaukee child receives the high-quality education they deserve. We've taken real steps forward, but our work is far from done. This giving season, we're asking you to join us. Together, we can secure a stronger future for our children and a stronger future for Milwaukee. To support our mission, visit cityforwardcollective.org/donate. That's cityforwardcollective.org/donate.
This is What's on Tap with Sandy Max.
It's been so exciting. It's been a lot of hard work, and we're just so happy to be there. We can't believe it ourselves.
Well, Bombshell's been around a while, but you kind of floated from place to place. for a long time.
Yeah, so we actually started in the middle of COVID because we didn't know how to run a business yet. So we took a full year to figure out everything we needed to do just because we didn't want to burn out right away. And so we started doing shows, and we rented different places, and we were running all over Milwaukee, all over Elm Grove. And finally, it got to a point where we were like, we need our own home. And so we found this space in Brookfield, and we just have spent the last basically year renovating it while also doing the shows that we were doing at the same time.
Well, tell us about the space. How did you find it? Because I don't think that was a theater before.
No, it was actually a Taekwondo studio. So I found it on Facebook Marketplace. I saw this huge, big, empty space that had mirrors all along the wall. And at first we were like, this would be a great rehearsal studio. And then once we were in there, we were like, this is just big enough that we could really make this our own theater in here. And it kind of solved all of our problems of having to go around everywhere, unload our stuff, and pack it all up again and finding new spaces. So it just really worked out for us.
How do you take an empty space and convert it into a theater?
It was a lot of work. So luckily we are really blessed with some friends that have built theaters before, and some architecture friends of ours helped us kind of figure out different plans that we could do. And after kind of looking around at the different layouts, we finally came up with one that could fit the most people and give us the most stage space. So we just kind of took that and ran with it.
What are some of the challenges you faced? Because I'm sure there wasn't a stage in there.
No, it was all concrete in there. Nothing on the floor, nothing on the walls. It was all concrete. So we had to start actually from scratch. I would say the biggest challenges were, like, number one, finding the time to do it, because all of us have full-time jobs, and we had rehearsals going on at the same time for the shows we were doing. So the time to do those rehearsals after work hours, and also just getting everything done on the weekends. We spent a lot of weekends there. But I would say the biggest challenges were things that I never considered, because it was a little more difficult than a home remodel. There was a lot of different codes we had to follow. I didn't even know the codes at first, so a lot of research. The biggest struggle, I guess, was the stage itself. We thought it would be easier than it was, but there is so much that goes into building a stage when you're considering dancing on it, tapping on it, making sure it doesn't squeak like a basketball court, everything like that. So that took us quite a while.
Well, plus you had to have the backstage area, in addition to just putting a stage.
Mm-hmm. Backstage area, we had to do the seating area. We have rising platforms in there. We had to build a whole tech booth in there. We also have a bar in there. We got our full liquor license, thankfully. So basically building everything, yeah.
So how many seats do you have in the theater?
There's 51 in there right now. Well,
right now.
Right now.
That sounds like there might be plans to add more in the future.
I'm hoping so. We're kind of seeing the layout. Number one, as a theater goer myself, the number one thing that was important to me is being comfortable in there. So I would rather people have the leg room than squeezing as many seats in there, because I hate it when it's so tight in there. So I made sure that the seats are nice and cushy and big, and you have nice leg room. And yeah, that was most important to me. So if it's 51 for now is all good.
We're talking with Tim Albertson. He is the producer-director of the Bombshell Theater. That's the newest theater space in Brookfield. And we'll be back with more with Tim in just a minute. I want to find out some of the shows they're doing there. It's all ahead on What's on Tap on WTMJ.
We know what you're thinking, and all we can tell you is to drive careful.
Yep, Wisconsin roads are no joke this time of year, especially when you're driving on old, worn-out tires.
Schedule yourself a tire appointment with Richlands. We carry all sorts of tire brands, including Goodyear, Kelly, Continental, and General, to name a few.
And every tire we install automatically comes with free tire mounting, free lifetime tire rotation, free flat tire repairs, and free alignment inspections.
Not to mention free wheel corrosion cleaning, lifetime warranty spin balance, and prorated tire protection.
Let's just say if you're driving around town, especially this time of year on old worn-out tires, you're due for tire service.
Courtney's right. And remember, be safe, buckle up, and hey, always make sure you have good tread on your tires, because cold, wet, icy roads are no joke. I'm Brett Matchke with Richlands, and you're due for service.
Richlands Tire and Service, such a refreshing change. Richlands.
They saved over $50,000 after we sold their home at only 1.9%. You don't have to pay 6% to market and sell your home. Hundreds of Century 21 Benefit Realty clients will attest. You can get it all for only 1.9%. The more value your home has, the more important it is to find the best real estate commission and the marketing ability to get top dollar. And with Century 21 behind us, that's what we have. This is Angela Calais with Century 21 Benefit Realty, benefit-realty.com, where you pay less for full service. Each office is independently owned and operated. Half a century of marketing expertise joined with over 20 years of local market knowledge. Not to mention the savings you'll see after you get our best commission right up front, which, by the way, is only 1.9% on the listing side of your home. Join that together and you can be sure that you've chosen the right real estate experts who have the experience to market your home effectively and give you a commission that'll end up paying for things like new furniture. This is Angela Calais with Century 21 Benefit Realty, benefit-realty.com, where you pay less for full service. Each office is independently owned and operated.
No matter how many people are in your family, buying new jackets for the cold weather months can be expensive. But when you shop St. Vincent de Paul thrift stores, prices on cold weather jackets will give you a sigh of relief because thrift store prices mean great deals. And right now we have a great selection. Find great deals on cold weather jackets for the family at St. Vincent de Paul thrift stores on Highway 100 in Layton and Greenfield, 23rd in Lincoln, and 76th and Bradley Road in Milwaukee.
You're gonna love it, St. Vincent de Paul.
Hey everybody, it's WTMJ's Debbie Loziga for Access Legal. I see firsthand how hard Wisconsin workers push themselves. From the construction crews on the roads I monitor every day to the countless jobs that strain the body over time. For many, that wear and tear turns into real pain. My friends at Access Legal understand what you're going through and they want to help. Their team has recovered more than $35 million for Wisconsin workers and will fight for the benefits you're entitled to as well. Worn down by work? Contact Access Legal for a risk-free consultation. That's AXIS Legal.
What's on Tap with Sandy Max is back on WTMJ.
Welcome back to What's on Tap. I'm Libby Collins, in for Sandy Max. We are talking with Tim Albertson. He is the producer-director of Bombshell Theater Company. Now, what have you been known for in the past? What kind of shows has Bombshell put on?
So around the time that we were starting, I don't know if you recall this, but there was about 19 productions of Mamma Mia happening at the same time. And I love Mamma Mia, don't get me wrong.
Who doesn't?
Before all this, I was, as an actor, I was kind of getting sick of just seeing the same shows all the time. So we and my husband, Eric, who we run Bombshell Theater together alongside Mark Morris, who's our producing manager, we decided that we wanted to see some shows that hadn't been done. There's been shows we had been dreaming of, our bucket list shows. And so we kind of came up with this mission to do rarely told stories. And so our very first production was Funny Girl, which at the time, this was before the Broadway revival and everything, it hadn't been done in the Milwaukee area for 40 years.
Are you kidding?
Yeah.
Wow.
At least as far as I know. We searched and searched to see if there was any sort of production, but we couldn't find one since like 40 years ago.
And so that was the first show that Bombshell Theater did.
Yeah.
But you followed up with a lot of others.
Oh, yeah. We've kind of tried to make an eclectic, diverse range of shows because when I want someone to open up our brochure, I want any type of theater goer to be able to look at one of them and be like, I like this one. And so we're trying to capture all the different people that maybe don't even like going to shows, but they're like, that one sounds interesting. So a lot of our shows, we do try to follow that rarely told stories quite a bit. We did Best Little Whorehouse in Texas, Gentlemen Prefer Blondes. I don't know when that had ever been done. Things Sunset Boulevard. So we do a lot of shows that you may be familiar with, but you never had the chance to see on stage before.
But the ones that you're talking about, they require, first of all, really good, talented singers.
Yes.
And also the staging is pretty challenging on a lot of that because there's a lot of set changes.
Oh, yeah. So it depends on what space we're at because we had to move around. So we had different challenges at each space. And luckily, we just, through our years of acting, we happened to just come to some friends that were very talented. And now with our theater, we've been able to meet new people and see other people in shows and ask them to be in our shows. So we are really blessed to have talented people come and do our shows for us. But for the staging itself, it changes depending on the venue. But luckily, with these shows never really being seen before, nobody has anything to compare it to. So we can kind of just take our own liberties with it.
Well, you have taken on a challenge with the show that's playing right now
Yes.
because it's based on a really popular movie, Holiday Inn. Has that show been produced on stage in Milwaukee before?
The last that I had heard of it being done was at the Fireside several years ago. So around here, not really, no.
Why did you decide on that?
Well,
because that's your first show in the
yeah.
new space.
Well, so for people who are familiar with Holiday Inn, there's a really fun line where it's like, welcome to the first ever performance of Holiday Inn in the show. And so it kind of, first off, we wanted to do a holiday show. We thought that that would be fun to do. But number two, it kind of represented opening a new space. It's all about him making Holiday Inn for the first time. And so we were like, this is the perfect show for us to do as our first show because it kind of follows along the same story.
What are some of the songs that are in that?
White Christmas, Easter Parade, Cheek to Cheek. So it's a lot of Irving Berlin.
Now, when you stage a show like that, that's known primarily from the film,
Mm-hmm.
how do you go about casting it? Because in the original movie, it was Bing Crosby.
Mm-hmm.
How do you go about casting somebody that everybody knows is Bing Crosby in the film?
Well, luckily, this was one of Eric's dream shows, so he fills that role just perfectly. But the rest of the cast, we do callbacks. People think that we just kind of choose these people, but we do callbacks for shows that, we really want the right person for. So luckily, we just sent a callback notice to all of our friends, and we just picked out the perfect people for it.
When you're producing a musical, do you have live musicians or are you using tracks?
We use tracks right now, especially with our small space. There would be no room for a band. However, one day if we move on to bigger and better things, I would love to have a live band.
Although it does add to the ambiance because you get that big sound with the tracks.
Yes, definitely. And also, some of these older shows have like 27 instruments in them. And so we would need like a full pit to recreate the sound that the soundtrack is calling for.
Well, with only 51 seats in the theater, you have a problem. You're sold out already.
I know. And we even added dates, and those sold out too. It completely sold out 3 weeks before we even opened, which is unheard of for us. That has never happened, and we're just so shocked and surprised and happy about it. And it's just been the most perfect way for us to open our new space is full crowds every night.
How are you determining future shows based on the response for this one?
It's funny because we have to decide our shows like a year and a half ahead of time. So when we learn new things, it's kind of we can't implement them for another year and a half. But we have a really great season planned, and we're hoping, I kind of followed along those same lines of making sure we pick a show that any type of person would want to go see. So we have something for everybody in our season, and I'm hoping they're all just as popular as Holiday Inn.
So what's coming up? Because in January, you've got a big show, especially if you like country music.
Absolutely. So we're doing Honky Tonk Angels from January 14th through the 18th, and that is about 3 gutsy gals going to Nashville to follow their country dreams. So it's a bit of a jukebox musical.
What songs are you featuring?
It has Harper Valley PTA, 9 to 5, I Will Always Love You.
The Dolly Parton version.
Yes, the Dolly Parton version. It just has Stand By Your Man, things like that. It's a lot of great classic country hits.
And that's in January. Then in February, you're moving to a show that did very well off Broadway.
Oh, yes. And it hadn't been done for quite a while. I think they've done it down south a little bit, but Avenue Q. So that'll be...
And what's that about?
So it's basically a adult version of Sesame Street, and I do have to clarify per contracting that it is not associated with the Jim Henson Company.
And it's not for children.
Not for children whatsoever.
And that's going to be in February and into March. And then this is a challenging show to put on, is Into the Woods. Because, first of all, you're dealing with Sondheim. And those are not easy songs to perform.
Absolutely. Into the Woods is just a classic. And, we in all of these rarely told stories, Into the Woods is not one of them, but it's just one that people love so much. So we had to throw it in there just to kind of round out our season. But last year we had a really, really also sold out run, successful Sweeney Todd. And so we were like, maybe we can do Sondheim. People love it.
But going to Into the Woods, it's what? It's a compilation of sort of fairy tales told in an adult way?
Absolutely. And it's not as adult as Avenue Q, but it's kind of this mixture of all these different fairy tale stories coming together into the woods. And it's really interesting to see how they intersect with each other and kind of the fun and the problems that come with that.
And then when you get into summer, you've got what you could maybe call a summer blockbuster show. I've never heard of this, but it sounds intriguing.
Oh, I shouldn't have a favorite show this season, but that's the one I'm most excited for, which is Disaster, a 70s disaster movie musical. So this was on Broadway, I believe, about 10 years ago. And it's basically a 70s jukebox musical parody of the Poseidon Adventure. And it's so funny. I've watched it a million times. I love the music. It's so ridiculous.
And it uses some familiar songs.
Oh, yeah. I Will Survive, Knock on Wood, Hot Stuff. It has everything that
so
you're
it's sort of
looking
a
for.
disco musical.
It's absolutely a disco musical.
We are talking with Tim Albrechtsen about the new Bombshell Theater, and it really is a real theater. For once, they've got a dedicated space. It's in Brookfield. And if you want more information about Bombshell and the shows they're doing in their new space, you can go to www.bombshelltheater.org, and they'll tell you all about it. It's a fun new theater space in Brookfield. It's 8:51 and 23 degrees at WTMJ.
Visit family-owned Ken Michaels Furniture and our in-store design centers where you'll still find beautiful, luxurious, heirloom-quality American-made furniture. Right now, save 30 to 35% store-wide and take advantage of our complimentary design services. Whether you're moving, renovating, or updating, our designers will help your vision become a reality. Visit Ken Michaels Furniture in Brookfield on Capitol Drive and in Greenfield on Highway 100 to save 30 to 35% store-wide today. Sleep better and save more with mattresses from Milwaukee Mattress and Ken Michaels Furniture. Handcrafted in our Milwaukee factory, our mattresses utilize natural materials like cotton cushioning, which dissipates body heat, Joma wool quilts for warm wintry nights and cool summer evenings, and natural latex providing superior conformability and pressure relief for aching joints. Stop in today at any Ken Michaels Furniture store and save up to 50% compared to national brands.
Hi, guys. This is the Rocket Roger Clemens. You don't pitch in the majors for 24 years without feeling it later. Shoulders, elbows, knees. Trust me, pain doesn't retire when you do.
That's baseball legend Roger Clemens.
I tried the ice. I tried rest, PT, nothing really worked. When I heard about QC Kinetics, the concept sounded promising. Non-surgical regenerative treatments that help your body heal itself without surgery. Sign me up, just what I needed, real lasting relief.
Whether you're a former pro, a weekend golfer, or just want to walk around pain-free again, QC Kinetics uses cutting-edge technology and natural biologics to help restore and repair damaged tissue.
I trusted them with my joints. Now I'm back doing what I love.
Call QC Kinetics today and schedule your free consultation.
Call QC Kinetics, 414-667-5559. That's 414-667-5559. 414-667-5559.
Are the changing seasons making you crave a getaway? Let Fox World Travel help you plan the perfect all-inclusive resort or cruise vacation to escape the cold. We've got special deals with Apple Vacations, Delta Vacations, Princess Cruises, Celebrity Cruises, and more. Whether you book online or with a travel advisor, Fox World Travel has your back. Visit foxworldtravel.com or call 866-GO-FOX-GO today.
Be our eyes on the road. See something out there that I should know about?
Hi, Debbie. I just thought I'd let you know eastbound 94 has what looks like a pretty bad accident.
Call me, Debbie Lazaga, on the WTMJ traffic tip line, 414-238-9329.
Hi, Deb. It's Mark. 894 West. It's a parking lot.
The drive affects you. Why not be part of it?
Westbound 94, just west of 27th Street, two-car crash.
Give me a call, 414-238-9329.
This is What's on Tap with Sandy Max.
I'm Libby Collins. Thank you, Sandy, for letting me fill in for you tonight. You know, one of the most popular programs we played over the holidays last year was Sandy's Holiday Soundtrack. And guess what? By popular demand, it is going to be back this week. Or not this week, but this year. And you can submit your holiday-themed music for consideration to be aired during the show. It's a 2-hour radio special that will air on Christmas Eve and on Christmas morning. And Sandy's looking for songs in every style and genre. She's looking for holiday, anything with holiday, whether it's Christmas, Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, maybe it's Boxing Day, Festivus, New Year's, winter solstice. You name the holiday that comes around this time of the year, and she will definitely give that consideration with anything with a winter theme. And she's encouraging everyone to submit originals and cover versions. And you know what she really wants to do is spotlight Wisconsin and Wisconsin-connected talent, whether it's from Milwaukee to Madison, Sheboygan to Appleton, West Allis, and every place else in the state. So here's what you need to do. You need to submit your song and then let everybody you know it's going to be on, because that deadline has been extended. Submissions are going to be accepted until Monday, December 15th. So you got a couple more days yet. And that's promptly at 11 p.m. So you got to get them in by Monday at 11 p.m. And if you can get them in earlier, all the better. And by the way, some of the people who were featured last year, our good friend, Steve March Torme. He, of course, is from Appleton. And by the way, in case you didn't know, he's Mel Torme's son. You had Mrs. Fun. You had the Quilts from Milwaukee, who had Liberace, of course, from West Allis. You had Pat McCurdy. Everybody knows who he is from Milwaukee. You had the Waltzmeister. You had Life Church Music. You had Hannah Bussey, His Way, and so much more. You can be part of it this year. All you have to do is submit your holiday song or winter theme song by Monday, December 15th at 11 p.m. to be considered to be part of Sandy's holiday soundtrack that's going to air on Christmas Eve and Christmas morning. Sandy will be back with you tomorrow night, promptly at 6 o'clock. And What's on Tap is sponsored by Visit Milwaukee. Handcrafted, homegrown, world-class. Discover more at visitmilwaukee.org. I'm Libby Collins. Thanks so much for joining us. And I'll be back with you Sunday morning, bright and early, on Wisconsin Weekend Morning News.
WTMJ, W277CV, and WKTI HD2 Milwaukee from the Annex Wealth Management Studios. This is News Radio WTMJ, a Good Karma brand station.
You know, James, we'll be running this